Thunderbolts unfortunately rained out in last night's ball game as rain and lightning came through the area. Called about an hour after the scheduled first pitch. That game will be made up as part of a doubleheader on tomorrow starting at 4:05 p.m. Eastern Time. The first game at 4:05, second game following about a half hour after the conclusion of game number one. But the Wild Things are back in action with the Thunderbolts here tonight on the MSA Sports Network. Coming up here on the Washington Wild Things pregame show, going to give you a recap of Thursday night's ball game with the Lake Erie Crushers. The Washington Wild Things unfortunately losing that game by the score of 6-2. We'll have the recap of that for you. Also coming up, a sit-down with Wild Things infielder Grant Fink, talking about hitting his 8th home run of the year, talking about this big series with Windy City, and talking about having to play first base after Jimmy Yezzo went down in Thursday night's ballgame. Also give you an update on Jimmy Yezzo's status, and we're going to have lineups and the pitching matchup for you here. It's all up on the Washington Wild Things pregame show. Now on Thursday night, as we said, the Wild Things unfortunately losing to the Lake Erie Crushers by the score of 6-2. Matt Frauding took the hill for your Washington Wild Things in this one and had what was his worst start of the 2016 season. Got knocked around a little bit, was wild early on, did not allow a run in this ball game until the top of inning number 3. Rob Pollard walked to start things. The next batter, Brendan Constantino, would walk. So there'd be runners at first and second with nobody out. Then a wild pitch moved runners to second and third. Still nobody out. Then Frauding getting a big out, getting Connor Oliver to pop out to the third baseman. That was out number 1. Then Jose Barraza, ground ball to second baseman Grant Fink. Fink made the play. However, one came in to score as Rob Pollard came in, and it was 1-0 Lake Erie after 2.5 innings of play. Lake Erie would get back on the board. In the top of inning number 5, Rob Pollard walked to lead things off. Brendan Constantino would then fly out before Connor Oliver came through. They RBI triple, scoring Rob Pollard. That made it 2-0 Lake Erie. Next batter, Jose Barraza, would fly out to end the inning. Then in the top of the 6th, Lake Erie got back on the board once again. They were up 5-0. Wild Things mounted 2 threats in this ball game. One in the 4th inning when Chris Grayson singled to lead things off, then stole second base, moved to third on a fly ball. So there was a runner at third with one man out before, Ricky Rodriguez flew out, Dave Popkins struck out, and Jimmy Yezzo flew out to end that inning, straining a runner at third. Wild Things also threatened in the bottom half of the 5th when Kyle Pollock singled to lead things off, and Alvaro Gonzalez hit into a 5-4-3 double play. Grant Fink and Austin Welbrock would walk to put runners at first and second with 2 men out, and Andrew Heck would fly out to end the inning. Top of the 6th, Lake Erie up by a score of 2-0. Eric Graves started the inning off with a strikeout, then Nick Cavello would walk before Max Casper came through with an RBI triple. Cavello came in to score, and Lake Erie took a 3-0 lead. Next batter, Brian De La Rosa, would strike out before Parker Norris walked to put runners at first and third with 2 men out, and that would be all for the starter, Matt Frauding. He had thrown 115 pitches on the day, so his night was done. On to relieve him in the ball game was Ashton Parrott, and the first man Parrott faces, Rob Pollard, hits a 2 RBI double. Both Casper and Norris come around to score, and the Lake Erie Crushers take a 5-0 lead. Brendan Constantino would then pop out to end the inning. Wild Things got up the front of line for Matt Fraud in that one, went 5 2/3, gave up 5 runs, all those runs earned on 4 hits, 5 walks, and 7 strikeouts, having thrown 115 pitches on the day. So Matt Fraudin's night was done after that top of the 6th inning. Then going to the bottom half of the 6th, Wild Things would get on the board down 5-0. Chris Grayson grounded out to start things. Then Ricky Rodriguez would single before Dave Popkins struck out for the second out of the inning. Jimmy Yezzo would then come through with a single, putting runners at first and second, nobody out. A wild pitch moved him up to second and third, and then another wild pitch brought home Ricky Rodriguez. That made it 5-1 Lake Erie Crushers. Next batter, Kyle Pollock, would walk before Alvaro Gonzalez came through with an RBI double. His second RBI is a Washington Wild Thing. Jimmy Yezzo came around to score. That made it 5-2 Lake Erie Crushers. And after that, Grant Fink would ground out to end the inning. So it was 5-2 Crushers after 6 innings of play. Lake Erie would get back on the board in the top of the 7th. Connor Oliver grounded out to start things, and Jose Barraza reached on a 3-base error as Ricky Rodriguez made an errant throw to first base, went all the way to the Wild Things bullpen, allowing Barraza to get to third on the play. And next batter, Eric Grabe, came through with an RBI single. Barraza came around to score, and Lake Erie took a 6-2 lead. Nick Cavello would then fly out, and Max Casper hit into a fielder's choice to end the inning. Lake Erie would get on the board one more time in the ball game. It's in the top of the ninth. Brendan Constantino flew out. Connor Oliver tripled, and a sac fly by Jose Barraza brought him in before Eric Grabe flew out to end the inning. That made it 7-2 Lake Erie Crushers. And then on the bottom of the ninth, Wild Things trying to fight back. Grant Fink hit a solo home run, his 8th home run of the year over the left field wall. That made it 7-3. Then Austin Walbrock, Andrew Heck, and Chris Grayson would all ground out, and that would be it in this ball game. Final score, Lake Erie 7, your Washington Wild Things 3. The winning pitcher in the game was their starter, Juan Caballero. Caballero, his record went to 1-1. The losing pitcher was Matt Frodden. Frodden fell to 5-6 on the year, and the save went to Chandler Jagodzinski in the ball game. Wild Things looking to turn things around here today as we are in Standard Bank Stadium in Crestview, Illinois for Game 1 of this 3-game series. Going to take our first break here on the Washington Wild Things pregame show. When we come back, we're going to have our sit-down with Grant Fink. Keep it tuned right here for more Washington Wild Things pregame show on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network. You're listening to the Washington Wild Things pregame show. Currently joined by Wild Things infielder Grant Fink. And Grant, first of all, you guys take 3 out of 4 from the Lake Erie Crushers back at home at Consol Energy Park. Can you talk about how big that was for you guys after losing 6 straight to come back and take that series from Lake Erie?
Oh, it was huge to come off of, a tough series with the other teams and losing a lot of games in a row, and then coming out and getting 3 out of 4 is a pretty good start for us to have a strong finish.
And last night, you guys just came up short, but you hit your 8th home run of the year in the 9th inning. Can you talk a little bit about what you were looking for in that pitch and then your emotions once you heard the ball hit off the bat?
Oh, we were down a little bit, so I was trying to get something started, but I think the big at-bat was the one before that where I left a couple of runners on, so I think we just need to be a little better with runners in scoring position if we're going to end up winning some close games here.
And last night, Jimmy Yezzo having to leave the game with injury. You had to step in at first base. Is that a position you're familiar with, and how was the transition from second to first?
I played first my whole life, so it's pretty easy. It's second nature there.
And you're back out at second base tonight. Any differences in approach between the two positions? We've also seen you at third this year and out in the outfield. You were telling me earlier it's your first time ever playing outfield. So is there any different approach playing second base as opposed to third or first in the infield?
Second's a little new to me, a little longer time before the ball gets to you, more hops. So, it's just a different type of game there over there, and I'm learning it a little more. It's fun to, kind of get all these positions and start to learn to play a lot of different places.
Currently joined by infielder Grant Fink. And Grant, you've also been getting more consistent time in the Wild Things lineup thanks to your ability to play these different positions. So is that something you trained for here early in the season, or before the season started, to try to get you some time in the lineup?
Not really. I was just looking for a place to play, and, anytime I can give this team a chance to win some ball games, it's a pretty cool deal.
And on the mound tonight, Luke Wilkins on the hill going for a win tonight. What's it like playing behind him as a defender on the field?
He pitches quick. He goes at hitters, so it's pretty easy for us out there to just make some plays.
And finally, what's the key for Game 1 tonight against Windy City?
Intensity. If we have to have our intensity up. If our energy's low, it's not a good thing. If our energy's up, we have a good shot at what we're trying to do.
Thanks, Grant. Good luck tonight.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
We'll be right back here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We ensure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network, getting you ready for Game 1 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts here in Crestwood, Illinois, and Standard Bank Stadium. Last night's game rained out due to rain and lightning in the area, so the Wild Things will be playing a doubleheader tomorrow afternoon with the Windy City Thunderbolts. First game will be at 4:05 p.m. Eastern Time, and then the second game can be heard about a half hour following the conclusion of that Game 1 of that doubleheader. But tonight, Game 1 of this 3-game series between your Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Injury update for your Washington Wild Things. Jimmy Yezzo left Thursday night's ball game after rolling his ankle going to first base. Has an ankle injury, was working that out today with trainer Jess Borgen. Said it felt pretty good to run on, but still there was a little bit of pain, so he's going to be out for day-to-day. He's a day-to-day player right now for the Washington Wild Things. We'll keep you updated on his status throughout the night. With Yezzo out tonight, Justin Garcia, one of the newest Washington Wild Things, getting a chance to play some first base tonight. Garcia was signed before the series with the Lake Erie Crushers back at home on Tuesday. Before that doubleheader, Garcia enters the Washington Wild Things, having played in the Houston Astros organization in rookie ball for the last 2 seasons, both in 2016 and 2015. This season with the Rookie League for Houston, hit 174, 1 home run, and 2 RBIs in his time in 2015. He played in 46 games, batted 155, hit 1 home run, and 14 RBIs. So Garcia looking to help the Wild Things here at the end of this season. They try to make a playoff push here in the Frontier League. Now, looking at those playoff standings here in the Frontier League, the top 2 seeds, Joliet and Southern Illinois, they're the division leaders. Southern Illinois sits at 51 and 25. Joliet at 42 and 33. Then the top 2 wild card spots held by the Evansville Otters and the Normal Corn Belchers. Evansville sits at 41 and 32. Normal at 39 and 35. Your Wild Things are currently 3.5 back of that second wild card position behind the Normal Corn Belchers. Ahead of the Wild Things of the Gateway Grizzlies. Grizzlies are 1.5 back. They sit at 39 and 38 on the year. Your Wild Things are 35 and 38. These Windy City Thunderbolts are 2 behind your Wild Things. They sit at 4 games back. They're tied with the River City Rascals. Both have records of 35 and 39. Neither team played last night as the Normal Corn Belchers got rained out as well. They got the same rain that we got here in Crestwood, Illinois, so they did not play either, and they got rained out in last night's ball game as well. There were some games that happened last night. 2 rainouts on the schedule as the Wild Things and Thunderbolts rained out. Also, the Corn Belchers and Rascals rained out. But the games that did play, the Southern Illinois Miners defeated the Evansville Otters in 10 innings. Miners won by a score of 5-1. Then the Florence Freedom beat the Gateway Grizzlies in Florence 6-5, that in a 9-inning game. And Schaumburg handled Lake Erie in Avon, Ohio. That score was 10-8. So there was some action around Frontier League yesterday. 2 rainouts were the Wild Things and Thunderbolts and River City Rascals and the Normal Corn Belchers. Also, the Traverse City Beach Bums and Joliet Slammers were rained out as well. So 3 rainouts yesterday. 3 games were played around the Frontier League. Getting ready for Game 1 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts are being announced on the field right now, but the national anthem will be playing here soon, so we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll be ready for Washington Wild Things baseball. Game 1 of this 3-game series, and it's all coming up right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. POGS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. POGS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to POGS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead, don't follow.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs.
For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get to sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, ready for baseball here in Game 1 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. The Windy City Thunderbolts on the field right now. They align like this in the outfield left to right. Coco Johnson, Johnny Ironman, and Charlie Thurber. Left side of the infield held down by Blair Beck and Taylor Smart. The right side by Tim Zier and Larry Balkwill. Behind the plate is Corey Bass. Catching today's starting pitcher, Kyle Von Ruden. Von Ruden enters this one with a record of 1-3 on the season, a 2.95 ERA, appearing in his 5th game, making his 5th start. Has thrown 24 and a third innings of work, giving up 8 runs, all earned on 22 hits, 8 walks, and 20 strikeouts on the year for Kyle Von Ruden. The lineup he'll face for your Washington Wild Things looks like this. They'll lead off with their left fielder, Andrew Heck. Batting second and center field, Chris Grayson. Hitting third and playing, at third base, Ricky Rodriguez. Batting fourth in right field, Dave Popkins. Hitting fifth, designated hitter, Alvaro Gonzalez. Batting sixth and catching, Kyle Pollock. Batting seventh at first base, Justin Garcia. Hitting eighth at second, Grant Fink. And batting ninth and playing at shortstop is Austin Wobrock. On the mound for your Washington Wild Things, Luke Wilkins. Wilkins enters this one with a record of 2-5. And his ERA sitting at 4.47. Once again, the lineup, Heck, Grayson, Rodriguez, Popkins, Gonzalez, Pollock, Garcia, Fink, and Wobrock. Ready for baseball here in Game 1 of this 3-game series. Andrew Heck making his way to the plate to lead things off. Heck so far on the year, hitting .255, no home runs, and 10 RBIs. Sunny skies here today in Crestwood, Illinois, as opposed to yesterday's rainout. Have nice blue skies today, a capacity crowd as it's Elvis night here at Standard Bank Stadium at a pregame concert. Many fans coming out. Von Ruden has his sign. Here's the pitch, and Heck takes this first pitch high for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. First pitch tonight officially thrown at 7:09 p.m. Eastern Time. Temperature outside, 80 degrees. First pitch time and temperature brought to you by State Line Grocery and Hotspot. That 1-0 hits the outside corner for a strike. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. On the bases for the Washington Wild Things coaching. In the third base coaching box, manager Greg Langben. And at first base is hitting coach Mike Marshall. Heck squares and gets this bunt down, but it'll roll into foul territory, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 here on Andrew Heck, the leadoff man for your Washington Wild Things. Wild Things in their red alternate jerseys with the white lettering and their gray road pants. The Windy City Thunderbolts in their white home jerseys with their white home pants. So 1 ball, 2 strike, nobody out, top of the first. No score between your Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts, just underway from Crestwood, Illinois. Von Ruden looks in, has his sign. He set the 1-2 offering, and a swing and a miss there by Heck. He strikes out, and that's out number 1 here in this top of the first. 1 up, 1 down for the Washington Wild Things. That'll bring to the plate the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson so far on the year hitting .261, 2 home runs, and 11 RBIs. Your umpires for tonight's game, behind home plate, Christopher Veverito, and on the bases is Steve Bartelstein. Chris Grayson digging in right now. Lefty on righty matchup as Grayson steps in. Von Ruden looks in, has his sign. Here's the pitch on the way. And a swing and a miss there by Grayson, and the count goes to no balls and 1 strike. 0-1 the count. Last time the Wild Things faced off against the Windy City Thunderbolts back in the middle of June, Wild Things would take 2 out of 3 in the series. The 0-1, Grayson bunts 1, and this one goes foul. So the count goes no balls and 2 strikes. Von Ruden ahead of Chris Grayson. Von Ruden pitching much better than his 1-3 record implies. In his last 3 games combined, the Windy City Thunderbolts have gotten him 1 run of support in those last 3 games. He's lost each of the last 3 starts. However, the start before that, he got 16 runs of support. So Windy City lacking on offense recently for him, but they made up for it in Game 1. The 0-2, and this one grounded short. Handed over there by Smart. Smart throws on to first, and that's in time for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Wild Things here in the bottom of the first, and that brings to the plate the third baseman, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez so far in the year hitting .306, 5 home runs, and 25 RBIs. 2 men out here in the top of the first. No score between your Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Kyle Von Ruden retiring the first 2 Wild Things he's faced. here in this top of the first inning. As Ricky Rodriguez stepping in, Von Ruden has his sign. He's set and the pitch on the way. And Rodriguez takes this one for a strike on the outside corner. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Von Ruden pounding the strike zone early against your Washington Wild Things. Only one ball thrown to this point in the ball game. Here's the 0-1. And Rodriguez grounds this one to the left side, and they'll get through for a base hit. 2-out single for the Wild Things. Their first hit of the ball game, and that gives them a runner on base for their cleanup man, Dave Popkins. Popkins so far in the year hitting .294, 11 home runs, and 40 RBIs. Perfectly placed ground ball there by Ricky Rodriguez. Got it right through that hole on the left side between the third baseman, Blair Beck, and the shortstop, Taylor Smart. Now, Blair Beck's supposed to have the night off tonight, but Ransom Lalon, a late scratch at short. So Taylor Smart moved over to shortstop, and Blair Beck playing third in this one. Von Ruden's pitch, and Popkins takes this one for a strike on the outside corner. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. 2 outs. Runner at first for the Wild Things. No score here in the top of the first from Standard Bank Stadium. Ricky Rodriguez perfectly placed single through the left hole. Von Ruden has his sign. He's set in the no-ball, one-strike pitch. And Popkins takes this one just off that outside part of the plate. Count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Dave Popkins, switch hitter, batting from the left side against the right-hander Kyle Von Ruden. Rodriguez takes his lead from first. Von Ruden has his sign. He's set in the 1 ball, 1 strike offering. And Popkins takes this one for a called strike. That just hitting the outside corner, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Dave Popkins kind of bending over in disagreement on that one, but he'll have to take the call from Christopher Viverito behind the plate. Rodriguez has his lead. 2 stolen bases on the year for Ricky Rodriguez. Von Ruden has his sign. He's set in the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And Popkins takes this one for a called strike 3. He strikes out, and the inning is over. No runs for your Wild Things on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After half an inning of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, Windy City Thunderbolts coming to bat. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the first, and the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, and the Windy City Thunderbolts coming to bat. The Wild Things take the field like this defensively in the outfield left to right. Andrew Heck, Chris Grayson, and Dave Popkins. Left side of the infield held down by Ricky Rodriguez and Austin Wobrock. Right side by Grant Fink and Justin Garcia. Behind the plate, Kyle Pollock. Catching tonight's starter, Luke Wilkins. Wilkins enters this one with a record of 2-5, a 4.47 ERA, appearing in his 14th game, making his 13th start. Has thrown 74 and a third innings of work, giving up 40 runs, 37 earned on 70 hits, 48 strikeouts, and 34 walks on the year for Luke Wilkins. The lineup he'll face for the Windy City Thunderbolts looks like this. They'll lead off with their left fielder, Coco Johnson. Batting second at second base, Tim Zier. Hitting third and catching, Corey Bass. Batting fourth in right field, Charlie Thurber. Hitting fifth at third base, Blair Beck. Batting sixth in center field, Johnny Ironman. Batting seventh, designated hitter, Cody Kiefer. Hitting eighth and playing at first base, Larry Balkwill. And batting ninth and playing at shortstop is Taylor Smart, making his way to the plate to lead things off. Here in the bottom of the first is the left fielder, Coco Johnson. Johnson so far on the year hitting .259, 4 home runs, and 27 RBIs. Johnson, the speedster on this team, leads the team with 37 stolen bases. Here's the pitch from Wilkins, and that one's inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Coco Johnson. Luke Wilkins, his last time out, got a little roughed up by River City. Gave up 7 runs in the first inning, but after that, really calmed down and threw 4 shutout innings following that first inning of play. The 1-0, and that one's in the dirt for a ball. Count now goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. Wild Things almost came back and won the last game for Luke Wilkins, losing by 11-9 as they rallied back and only lost by 3 to River City. That one's inside as well, so Luke Wilkins starts out this game behind the first batter he faces as the count is 3 balls and no strikes. 3-0. Nobody out, bottom of the first. Wilkins 3-0 offering, and that one's a called strike hitting the outside corner. 3 balls and a strike. If there's one man on this team you don't want to reach base to lead off an inning, it's this guy. 37 stolen bases leads the team. Here's the 3-1 offering, and that one's called strike as well, hitting at the knees, and the count goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Luke Wilkins going full to his first batter here in this game. 3-2 on deck batter Tim Zier, the second baseman. Wilkins 3-ball, 2-strike pitch, and a ground ball towards third. This one will roll into foul territory, however, and the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. That ground ball softly hit there by Coco Johnson. Ricky Rodriguez went to field that one in foul territory. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Here in the bottom of inning number 1, no score between your Washington Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Luke Wilkins looking for a clean first inning in this one. Has his sign, the 3-2, and this one hit towards left center field and deep. Chris Grayson going back on it towards the track. He reaches up, and he can't make the catch. It's off the wall. Johnson gets into second. That'll be a leadoff double. So right away, the Windy City Thunderbolts threatening against your Wild Things. Coco Johnson in there with a leadoff double as a runner at second with nobody out. Chris Grayson out there in center field nearly ran that ball down. Hit off the tip of his glove. Gave a great effort out there. Ended up hitting off the top of the wall. Johnson in there at second with the double. Now up for the Windy City Thunderbolts is their second baseman, Tim Zier. Zier on the year, hitting .270 with no home runs and 29 RBIs. So right away, Windy City in business here in the bottom half of the first. Runner at second is Coco Johnson. Luke Wilkins looking in. Wilkins has his sign. He's set, and the pitch on the way. And that one's high for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Tim Zier. Luke Wilkins right away falling behind early, and that was a problem for him in River City. He's got to get that confidence up and pound the strike zone like he can. He's been a very good pitcher when he has his confidence. It's when he starts falling behind that he gets into trouble late in ball games. Wilkins has his sign. He's set, checks the runner at second, and the 1 ball, no strike pitch. And this one fouled off by Zier, back to the screen, and the count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here in Tim Zier. For the Windy City Thunderbolts, coaching on the base paths at third base is the manager, Ron Biga. And coaching at first base is his pitching coach, Will Flint. So those are the guys on base managing for the Windy City Thunderbolts. Coco Johnson takes this lead from second. As we said, 37 steals for Johnson on the year. Good for the team lead for the Windy City Thunderbolts. Luke Wilkins looking into Kyle Pollock, his catcher. Wilkins has his sign. He's set. And the 1-1. And that one's in there for a strike, hitting the inside corner. So Wilkins jumping ahead of Zier. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2, nobody out here. And the bottom of the first, capacity crowd here at Standard Bank Stadium in Crestwood, Illinois, as they had Elvis Night. An Elvis impersonator concert was on before the game was playing today. Wild Things jamming to the Elvis tunes. They loved it out there in BP. The 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And that one's just high for a ball. Wilkins just missing the top of the zone. And the count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 here on Tim Zier. Zier playing second base for the Windy City Thunderbolts. Appeared in all 6 games, back in Consol Energy Park in that second base position. Wilkins has his sign. He's set. And the 2 ball, 2 strike offering. And Zier pops this one up foul down the line and right. That'll get back into the seats as he stays alive. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Windy City making Luke Wilkins work early on in this ball game. 7-pitch at-bat before Coco Johnson doubled. And the 6th pitch of the at-bat coming here to Tim Zier. Zier at the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes here at Standard Bank Stadium in Crestwood, Illinois. Luke Wilkins has his sign. He's set. And the 2 ball, 2 strike pitch. After a check to second, here it comes. And a swing and a miss. Luke Wilkins strikes him out. And that is the first out here in the bottom of the first. 1 out for the Windy City Thunderbolts. That brings to the plate the catcher, Corey Bass. Bass so far on the year, hitting .276, 9 home runs, and 36 RBIs. Bass, one of the All-Stars for the Windy City Thunderbolts, as he was the backup to Jose Barraza in this year's All-Star game in Florence, Kentucky. 1 man out, bottom of the first. No score between your Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Runner at second's Coco Johnson. He doubled with nobody out. Wilkins has his sign. He's set, checks the runner at second, and the pitch on the way. And that one's just outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. Want to know the count here on Corey Bass. Right-handed hitter against the righty Luke Wilkins. Only 2 lefties in the lineup today against Luke Wilkins, the right-hander. Charlie Thurber and Cody Kiefer are the 2 lefties in the lineup. Wilkins has his sign, checks the runner at second, the 1-0, and that one's inside for a ball. Count now goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. Wilkins has fallen behind each of the first 3 batters. As we said, roughed up in his last start in inning number 1. Gave up 7 runs, 6 earned in that first inning. Trying to work through a clean inning here in the bottom of the first. Wilkins has his sign. He's set. Checks the runner at second. The 2-0. And Bass grounds this one to the left side. Rodriguez handles it and it falls out of his glove. His recovery throw to first is not going to be in time, so it's going to be an error there on Ricky Rodriguez. E5 at first, and now there's runners at first and second with just 1 man out. Ground ball over to the third base. Ricky Rodriguez had it in his glove, but when he moved his glove to try to grab the ball just squirted out into foul territory. Didn't go really far away from Ricky Rodriguez, but he was unable to get to it in time to make the recovery, and unfortunately going to be an error on him, and that allows Corey Bass to reach base. Now stepping up is the right fielder, Charlie Thurber. Thurber so far in the year hitting .226, 1 home run, and 4 RBIs. 1 man out, runners at first and second for the Windy City Thunderbolts here in the bottom of the first. Wilkins looks in, has his sign, he's set, checks his runner at second, and the pitch on the way. And Thurber takes this one outside for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Charlie Thurber, one of 2 lefties in this Windy City Thunderbolts lineup, facing off against Luke Wilkins here in this one. Wilkins looks into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set, and the 1 ball, no strike offering. A swing and a miss there by Thurber. Waves at that one off the outside corner of the plate, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Wilkins would love a double play ball here if he could get one. The infield position pretty straight up the middle with Wobrock and Grant Fink. Wobrock guarding towards the pickoff move at second base, but he moves back to his position as soon as Wilkins goes to throw the pitch. Wilkins has his sign, he's set, checks the runner at second, and the 1 ball, 1 strike offering. Check over there, and Coco Johnson not going anywhere. Johnson, as we said, 37 steals on the year. Good for the team lead for the Windy City Thunderbolts, so always a guy you got to watch out for when he's on base. Wilkins has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. And Thurber, a line drive at the middle, pass Fink into center field for a base hit. Johnson going to be raised to the plate. Here's the throw by Grayson. It's a good one, the tag, and it's not in time. Coco Johnson will score. It's an RBI single for Charlie Thurber, and Windy City strikes first in here in this one. They lead 1-0 in the bottom half of the first. Strong throw there by Chris Grayson. However, Kyle Pollock received it a little bit out in front of the plate, and that did not give him enough time to get back and make that tag for the out. So Johnson scores. Runners are still at first and second with 1 man out, and that brings to the plate the third baseman, Blair Beck. Beck so far in the year is hitting .217 with 4 home runs and 26 RBIs. 1-0 Thunderbolts here early on. Wilkins has his sign, checks second, the pitch, and Beck takes this one outside and in the dirt for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Windy City Thunderbolts third baseman. RBI single there for Charlie Thurber brings in Coco Johnson, and the Windy City Thunderbolts have a 1-0 lead early on in this ball game. Luke Wilkins looking in, going through the signs with Kyle Pollock. Has one he likes, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And this ball fouled off to the right back into the stands. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here. 1 man out, bottom of the first. A run in on the RBI single by Charlie Thurber. Thurber stands at first. At second base is Corey Bass. Bass reached on an error with 1 man out in the inning. Luke Wilkins looks into Kyle Pollock. Has his sign, he's set. And the 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. And that one's at the letters for a strike. Count now goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wilkins ahead of Blair Beck here with 1 man out, bottom of the first. He's given up 2 hits so far in this inning. The run coming in on the RBI single by Charlie Thurber. Wilkins looks in, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. Checks his runner at second, and the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And this ball popped up left center field. Andrew Heck drifting over there. Heck is going to camp under this one on the track and make the catch. That's good for out number 2. Tagging and moving up are both runners. So now there are runners at second and third with 2 men out. Corey Bass moving to second. Bass to third, and Thurber over to second, and that'll bring to the plate the center fielder, Johnny Ironman. Ironman so far on the year, 234, 3 home runs, and 18 RBIs. 2 men out here in the bottom of the first. That fly out by Blair Beck, moving both runners up. So there's 2 in scoring position now for the Thunderbolts. They already have a 1-0 lead. Luke Wilkins looking into Kyle Pollock. Wilkins going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and checks third. Here comes the offering. And that one has Ironman twisting out of the way of that one, and the count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Windy City Thunderbolts center fielder, Ironman. We saw Ironman a lot in the first 2 series between these 2 teams. John Williams made some appearances in center field in the last series. Ironman takes this one low and outside for a ball. Count now goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count, the 6th batter of the inning for the Windy City Thunderbolts. They have runners at second and third and 2 men out. Wilkins looks into Kyle Pollock, has his sign, he's set, and the 2-ball, no-strike offering. That one's a called strike on the outside corner. Count goes to 2-1. Wilkins hitting that outside part of the plate here. Big for him to get this last out and limit damage at just 1 run here in this first inning. Wilkins has his sign from Pollock, he's set, checks the runner at third, and the 2-ball, 1-strike pitch. And that one's high for a ball. Count now goes to 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 here on Johnny Ironman, the number 6 hitter in the order for the Windy City Thunderbolts. Wilkins trying to retire him for the last out of the inning. Wilkins does have 1 strikeout on the day. Struck out Tim Zier with nobody out. Here's the 3-1 offering, and that one's a called strike in the outside corner. Count goes full 3 balls and 2 strikes. Second full count here in the game for Luke Wilkins. His first full count was back with Coco Johnson at the plate. Johnson would double off him. On deck batter Cody Kiefer. Luke Wilkins going through his signs. Has one he likes, he's set. And the 3-ball, 2-strike offering. And this one chops slowly to the right side. That'll go in foul territory as Justin Garcia will field it over there. And the count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Luke Wilkins having to labor here in this first inning. Threw 7 pitches to the first man he faced, Coco Johnson, before he doubled. Then 6 to Tim Zier. He's had a couple of short at-bats in a row. Last 3 all under 4 pitches. But right now a 7th pitch of the at-bat coming here to Johnny Ironman. Luke Wilkins looks in, has his sign, he's set, checks his runner at second, and the 3-2. And that one's a called strike 3. Ironman strikes out, and that will end the inning. However, Windy City does get a run in the inning on just 1 hit, no errors, or 1 error in the inning, and 2 men left on base. After 1 inning of play, the score, the Windy City Thunderbolts 1, your Washington Wild Things nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the second. And the score, the Windy City Thunderbolts 1 and your Washington Wild Things nothing. Last inning for your Washington Wild Things, Andrew Heck would strike out to start things. Then Chris Grayson grounded out, Ricky Rodriguez singled, and Dave Popkins struck out to end the inning. Due up here in the second, Alvaro Gonzalez, Kyle Pollock, and Justin Garcia, 5, 6, and 7, facing off against Kyle Von Ruden. Von Ruden, a very good first inning there, facing only 4 men in the inning, not having to work very hard, only threw 12 pitches in the inning, keeping that pitch count low early on. Next Wild Things broadcast tomorrow afternoon, 4:05 first pitch, game 1 of the doubleheader between these 2 teams, Wild Things and Thunderbolts. On the mound for your Washington Wild Things, making his debut as a starter for the Wild Things, Zach Groats. Groats' record of 3-2 with a 1.11 ERA. Groats making the start in game 1 of tomorrow's doubleheader. And for the Windy City Thunderbolts, it'll be Brady Muller making that start in game 1. So tune in 4:05, 3:50 pregame show for game 1 of tomorrow's doubleheader. Making his way to the plate right now to lead things off in the top of the second is the designated hitter Alvaro Gonzalez. Gonzalez so far 286, no home runs, and 2 RBIs, just his 3rd game with the Washington Wild Things. 2 for 7 in his career to this point as a Wild Thing. Von Ruden looking in, going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, here's the pitch. And Gonzalez takes this one outside for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things DH. In his first 2 games of the Wild Thing, Gonzalez was featured over at third base. Here's the pitch from Von Ruden. And Gonzalez fouls this one back to the screen. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Gonzalez's third game as a professional, played college ball at the University of New Mexico Highlands earlier this season, picked up by the Wild Things before Tuesday night's doubleheader. The 1-1 and a swing and a miss there by Gonzalez. Count now goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2, nobody out, top of the second. 1-0 Windy City leads over your Washington Wild Things. Von Ruden has his sign. He's set in the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. That one's outside. Gonzalez wisely laying off of that one, and the count goes even to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Gonzalez 2 RBIs in his first 2 games, both via the ground rule double. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and that one's outside for a ball. Count now goes full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Gonzalez showing patience at the plate here in the top of the second. First at bat against Von Ruden. Von Ruden has his sign, the 3 ball, 2 strike pitch. And that one's a called strike 3. Alvaro Gonzalez called out on strikes as that one just hit the outside corner. And that's good for out number 1 here in the top of the second. Third strikeout of the day for Von Ruden. And that brings to the plate the catcher, Kyle Pollock. Pollock so far in the year hitting .237, 2 home runs, and 10 RBIs. 1 man out, top of the second. 1-0 Windy City Thunderbolts lead here over your Wild Things. Von Ruden looking into Bass, has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Pollock takes this one in the outside corner for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Von Ruden pounding the strike zone early on. The 3 balls that he missed in that at-bat to Gonzalez didn't miss by much, so he's hitting his spots early on. The 0-1, this one hit towards right field. Giving chase over there is the right fielder, Charlie Thurber. He'll make the catch, and that's out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down for the Wild Things here in the second, as Von Ruden making quick work of the team here in the top of the second. That brings to the plate the first baseman, Garcia still looking for his first Wild Things hit on the season. He's only played in 1 game for the Washington Wild Things, and in that first game went 0 for 2 with a walk in the contest. So Garcia stepping in, 2 men out, top of the second, 1-0 Thunderbolts lead. Von Ruden has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Garcia lines this one to left field and deep. Coco Johnson giving chase, but this one a hook and go foul. So the count goes to no balls and a strike here on Garcia. 0-1 the count. Garcia out there at first base because of Jimmy Yezzo's injury. Yezzo suffered in Thursday night's game against Lake Erie when he rolled his ankle up at first base. Was doing some drills on the field prior to today's game. Said it felt good, but still not game ready, as he was definitely favoring his non-injured ankle. Here's the 0-1 to Garcia, and that one's inside for a ball. Corey Bass having to reach across his body to make that catch. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. 1-0 Windy City Thunderbolts lead here in the top of the second. 2 hits for the Thunderbolts, 1 hit for your Wild Things. Here's the 1-1 offering. And Garcia lining this one to left center field. Giving chase is Johnny Ironman, and he's not going to get to it as it bounces off the wall. Garcia around first, heading into second, and he is in there with a 2-out double. Justin Garcia's first hit as a Washington Wild Thing is a 2-out double. That puts a runner at second, with 2 men out, and brings to the plate the second baseman, Grant Fink. Fink so far in the year hitting .191, 8 home runs, and 17 RBIs. Garcia lining that one to the gap in left center field, going the other way with it. Bounced off the track and hit off the wall. So Garcia in there with his first hit as a Washington Wild Thing. Fink now at the plate with 2 men out. Garcia the runner at second. Kyle Von Ruden going from the stretch once again. Gave his first hit in this ballgame with 2 outs in the first inning, then got through it. We'll see what happens here in the second. Von Ruden checks his runner at second base. Here's the pitch. And Fink takes this one for a strike on the outside corner. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things second baseman. Fink's been getting more time out there as Jamadrick Magruder trying to come back from a hamstring injury he suffered 2 Sundays ago against Florence. Von Ruden has his sign, checks the runner at second, and the 0-1 pitch. And Fink takes this one for a strike as well in the outside corner. No balls and 2 strikes. Home plate umpire Christopher Viverito giving that outside part of the plate to both of these pitchers early on. So as a batter, you see that. You got to be able to adjust at the plate. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 men out. Von Ruden going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set. Checks the runner at second, and the 0-2 offering. And Fink takes this one outside this time for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Von Ruden trying to go just a little bit farther outside to see if he can give Fink the chase. Fink wisely laying off there, and the count's 1-2. Justin Garcia, his first Wild Things hit a double. He's at second base. Von Ruden looks in. Has his sign, he's set. Checks Garcia out there at second. And the 1 ball, 2 strike offering. And Fink check swing. Did he go around? No, says the field umpire Bertelstein, and that keeps the count, or that makes the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 here on Grant Fink. 2 men out, top of the second. 1-0 Windy City leads here in game 1 of this 3-game series in front of a capacity crowd. Von Ruden, the right-hander, on the mound. As we said, hasn't got much run support in these last 3 starts for him. Just 1 run combined in those last 3 games. But so far as a 1-0 lead here tonight. Checks the runner at second, and the 2-ball, 2-strike pitch. And a foul ball there by Grant Fink. Staying alive here against Kyle Von Ruden as the count stays 2 balls and 2 strikes. Good job of just getting a piece of that ball by Grant Fink. Not really much he could do with it. It was on the outside corner and at the letters. He had to swing, but he did the best thing possible, fouling that one back to the screen and trying to get another pitch here. Justin Garcia takes his lead from second. Kyle Von Ruden looking in. Von Ruden has his signee set, checks his runner at second, and the 2-ball, 2-strike pitch. And Fink pops this one up to the right side. That'll get back into the seats. It's giving chase his ball quill as it goes foul, and the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Grant Fink working Kyle Von Ruden here with 2 men out. 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up here to Grant Fink. 2 men out, top of the second. Justin Garcia picking up his first Wild Things hit. He's at second base with 2 men out, lining that ball in the left center field gap. Kyle Von Ruden looking in. Von Ruden going through the signs. Has one he likes. He's set. Checks Garcia at second. And the 2-ball, 2-strike pitch. And a swing and a miss at the ball in the dirt. Fink will be tagged out, and that ends the inning. No runs in the inning for your Wild Things on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 1.5, the score. The Windy City Thunderbolts 1, your Washington Wild Things nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the second, and the score, the Windy City Thunderbolts 1, and your Washington Wild Things nothing. Windy City getting their first run in the bottom of the first inning. Coco Johnson doubled to lead things off after a 7-pitch at-bat. Next batter was Tim Zier. Zier struck out before Corey Bass reached on an error that had runners at first and second with 1 man out. Then Charlie Thurber came through with an RBI single. Johnson came around to score. That made it 1-0 Windy City for Charlie Thurber. That was RBI number 5 on the year. Next batter, Blair Beck, would fly out, moving runners up to second and third with 2 men out before Johnny Ironman struck out to end the inning. Due up here in the second, Cody Kiefer, Larry Balkwell, and Taylor Smart, 7, 8, and 9 against Luke Wilkins. Wilkins giving up that run in the first inning. Had to throw 29 pitches in that first inning of work, so looking for a much more efficient inning here in the second inning. Last time out, as we said, he struggled in inning number 1, giving up 7 runs on the mound in the contest. However, he would calm down, threw up 4 straight zeros after that one, so we'll see what he can do here in this ball game against Windy City. Making his way to the plate to lead things off here in the bottom of the second, the designated hitter, Cody Kiefer. Kiefer so far in the year is hitting .242 with 3 home runs and 24 RBIs. Bottom of the second, 1-0 Windy City Thunderbolts lead over your Washington Wild Things. Luke Wilkins, the right-hander on the mound, facing off against the lefty, Cody Kiefer, one of 2 lefties in this Thunderbolts lineup against Wilkins. Here's the pitch, and that one's in there for a strike on the inside corner. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count, and that's what you want to see from Luke Wilkins, getting ahead of these batters. Had trouble in that first inning staying ahead early as he fell behind and missing and getting out in front. This one grounded to the right side in foul territory, so the count will go no balls and 2 strikes. Garcia fielding it over there. Wilkins out, no balls, 2 strikes. Has 2 strikeouts on the day, both those strikeouts coming in the first inning. Wilkins has 4 career complete games, and one of those coming 2 starts ago against Windy City on September the 6th of last year. Went 9 innings in that ball game and picked up the win. The 0-2, and that one's just inside for a ball. Couldn't get Kiefer to chase, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on Cody Kiefer. Kiefer saw some time in the outfield in the last series between these two teams. Here's the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch, And Kiefer grounding this one foul off to the right, so the count remains 1-2 as that'll roll into the Wild Things dugout. The dugouts here at Standard Bank Park, no netting in front of them, just a hole in the wall, so you got to be alert as a player. Watch out for balls and bats flying in there. The 1-ball, 2-strike pitch, and Kiefer hammers this one to right field. Dave Popkins going back to the track, nearing the wall. He looks up, and this ball is gone. A solo home run by Cody Kiefer, and Windy City jumps out now to a 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the second. For Cody Kiefer, that's his 4th home run of the year. It's now 2-0 Windy City here in the bottom of the second, and Kiefer did not miss that pitch at all. Got all of it, crushed it to right field. Dave Popkins didn't see it at first as the sun's setting here at Standard Bank Stadium, puts the sun right in Popkins' eyes. But when he turned around, he realized he ran out of room at the wall and watched that one sail over. So now 2-0 Windy City leads in the bottom of the second, and that brings up the first baseman, Larry Balkwill. Balkwill so far in the year hitting .213 with 3 home runs and 10 RBIs. Wilkins looks in, has his sign. Here's the pitch. And a swing and a foul ball there by Balkwill off the mask of Kyle Pollock, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Wilkins giving up that solo home run to Cody Kiefer. That's one thing he didn't give up in that first inning against River City. He gave up 7 runs, but did not give up a home run in that first inning. So gives up the solo shot here. He's set. Here's the 0-1, and that one hitting the outside corner. Count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count here. Bottom of the second, nobody out. Leadoff home run by Cody Kiefer gets Windy City on the board again here in the bottom of the second against Luke Wilkins. They lead 2-0. Wilkins has his sign. He's set. The 0-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss there by Balkwill. He strikes out. Kyle Pollock tags him out, and that completes the strikeout. So 1 man out here in the bottom of the second. 3rd strikeout of the day for Luke Wilkins, and that'll bring to the plate the shortstop, Taylor Smart. Smart so far on the year, hitting .239, 1 home run, and 29 RBIs. 1 man out, bottom of the second. Windy City leading this one by a score of 2-0. Taylor Smart, the number 9 man in the Windy City Thunderbolts order. Wilkins has his sign. He's set, and the pitch on the way. And Smart takes this one low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Windy City Thunderbolts shortstop. Was originally the starting 3rd baseman here in this ball game, but was moved over to short because of Ransom Lalonde's scratch. Next pitch, and that one's high for a ball. Wilkins behind, 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count here on Taylor Smart, number 9 hitter for the Windy City Thunderbolts. Was in that spot as well when the last time the Wild Things saw these Thunderbolts. Wilkins 2-0 offering, and Smart lines this one towards left center field, giving chase is Chris Grayson. He's not going to get that one. It'll fall for a base hit. So Taylor Smart on with a 1-out single following the strikeout of Larry Balkwill. And Windy City has a runner at first with 1 man out. That'll bring to the plate the left fielder, Coco Johnson. Johnson so far on the day, 1 for 1 with a double. Now the last game for Windy City was on Wednesday night. They've had 2 straight rainouts, and on Wednesday night they took on the Traverse City Beach Bums. Coco Johnson, that one would go 1 for 5 with a strikeout on the day. In that Wednesday night ball game, Windy City would defeat Traverse City by a score of 4-0. Luke Wilkins looking in. Wilkins has his sign, checks the runner at first, and the pitch on the way. That one's on the outside corner for a strike. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 here on Coco Johnson. 1 run in the inning so far for Windy City. On the solo home run by Cody Kiefer, they have another runner at first with 1 man out. Taylor Smart takes his lead over there. Wilkins has his sign. The pitch. Smart takes off for second. Pitch high, throw down, and it's into center field. Bad throw there by Kyle Pollock. So Taylor Smart reaches on the stolen base for Taylor Smart. On the season, that is stolen base number 10 on the year, so he gets into double digits. 1 of 4 Windy City Thunderbolts in with double digits, so it's a stolen base for Taylor Smart. Throwing error there on Kyle Pollock as that one goes into center field. Coco Johnson at the plate, 2-0 Windy City Thunderbolts lead. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out here in this bottom of the second. Wilkins has his sign, checks the runner at second, and the 1-1. And Johnson takes this one to the dirt, gets away from Pollock. He'll gather it, but it's not in time to throw out Taylor Smart. Smart moves up to third now. So a wild pitch by Luke Wilkins, and suddenly after the stolen base and the wild pitch, there's a runner at third and 1 man out, and this situation just got a whole lot harder for Luke Wilkins. 2-0 Windy City leads in this one. The infield will come in for the Washington Wild Things, as Wilkins now has to try to fight back. 2 balls and a strike, the count here on Coco Johnson. Wilkins pitch, and this one lined on the left field line. Unfortunately, that one will go foul, And the count now goes even to 2 balls and 2 strikes. That one lined down towards the Windy City Thunderbolts bullpen. Had to watch out over there. Bullpens here at Standard Bank Stadium are in the field of play. They're in foul territory, so you got to be heads up and alert over there at all times. Wilkins has his sign, checks the runner at third, the 2-2, and Johnson fouls this one off back behind the plate. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2, 1 man out here in the bottom of the second. Runner at third, that's Taylor Smart. Smart singled with 1 man out, and then stole second, moved up on a wild pitch. Coco Johnson at the plate. Luke Wilkins looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 2-ball, 2-strike offering. And Johnson lines this one towards left field. Andrew Heck not having to move and make the catch. Tagging is Taylor Smart. He will score without a throw. So it's a sacrifice fly for Coco Johnson, and Windy City now leads 3-0 here in the bottom of the second. For Coco Johnson, that is RBI number 28 on the year. Scoring is Taylor Smart. Now 3-0 Windy City. And with 2 outs, that'll bring up the second baseman, Tim Zier. Zier so far 0 for 1 with a strikeout here in this ball game. Zier in Wednesday night's ball game went 1 for 4 with an RBI. Also struck out in the game. 3-0 Windy City leads here in the bottom of the second. Wilkins has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And Zier grounds this one to short. Austin Warbrock, a diving stop, gets to his feet, throw to first, and it's in time to get Tim Zier, and that will end the inning. Warbrock ends the inning on a sparkler, but the Windy City Thunderbolts do get 2 runs in the inning on 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. After 2 innings of play, the score, the Windy City Thunderbolts 3, and your Washington Wild Things nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the third, and the score, the Windy City Thunderbolts 3, and your Washington Wild Things 2, or nothing. Last inning for the Washington Wild Things. Alvaro Gonzalez would strike out looking. Kyle Pollock would fly out. Justin Garcia would then double with 2 men out. His first hit as a Washington Wild Thing before Grant Fink struck out to end the inning. Due up here in the third, Austin Warbrock, Andrew Heck, and Chris Grayson, 9, 1, and 2 for the Wild Things against Kyle Von Ruden. Now, Von Ruden, we've talked about it, in his last 3 starts has 1 run of support combined by his Windy City Thunderbolts teammates. Last time out was against Evansville on August the 6th. In that game, he went 7 innings, gave up 3 runs, all earned on 9 hits, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts, getting the loss and falling to 1 and 3 on the season. But Kyle Von Ruden has pitched a lot better than that 1 and 3 record suggests. He just has not been getting run support lately. However, the game he did get run support in was his first start as a Windy City Thunderbolt. He got 16 runs of support in a win against the Florence Freedom, where Windy City won 16-1. He went 5 innings in that game, gave up just 1 run, so I guess those 16 runs of support make up for the last 3 games, where he has only gotten 1 run of support combined. In those last 3 games, he's given up 2 earned runs on July 26th, 2 earned runs on July 31st, and 3 earned runs his last time out on August 6th against Evansville. Making his way to the plate to lead things off here in the top of the third, shortstop Austin Warbrock. Warbrock so far in the year, 216, 1 home run, and 15 RBIs. Nobody out top of the third. Windy City leads by the score of 3-0 here early on over your Wild Things. Kyle Von Ruden has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch to Warbrock. And that one's inside for a ball and low. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Warbrock. Got that average up to 216. Since July, he's really been hovering between 210 and 220 all year, getting that average up. The 1-0, and that one's outside for a ball, so Von Ruden falling behind. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count here on the Wild Things shortstop Warbrock. Warbrock batting from the left side against the righty Von Ruden. Von Ruden's 2-0 pitch, and a swing and a miss there by Warbrock. That one on the outside corner, and the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 here on the Wild Things shortstop, Austin Warbrock. Had a very good day at BP today. Was down on the field with him. Was hitting line drives left and right. A nice job in the batting cage. See if that translates to the game today. Von Ruden has his sign. Here's the 2-ball, 1-strike pitch. And this one lined to the left field line, back into the seats and foul. And the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. That one hit off the concrete concourse here, as there's an upper deck here at Standard Bank Stadium, and bounced back into the field of play past manager Greg Langben in the third base coaching box. Von Ruden looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 2-2 offering. That one's high for a ball. Corey Bass leaping out of the crouch to make that catch, and the count goes full here on Austin Wobrock. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. Nobody out here in the top of the third. 3-0 Windy City leads over your Wild Things. Von Ruden has his sign. He set the 3-2 pitch, and this one lined towards center field, and that'll fall in for a base hit. Leadoff single here for Austin Wobrock in the top of the third. Puts a runner at first for the Wild Things, and that'll bring to the plate the left fielder, Andrew Heck. Heck so far in this one, 0 for 1 with a strikeout in Thursday night's game. Heck was back in the leadoff spot. He went 1 for 5 with a single, flew out twice, grounded out, and struck out in the ball game. 3-0 Windy City leads here in the top of the third. Austin Wobrock reaches base as the leadoff man. First time the Wild Things have had that leadoff man on here in this ball game, as Andrew Heck will try to move him up. Von Ruden has his sign. He's set. Checks Wobrock over there. And the pitch to Heck. Throw over to first. And Wobrock just back in there. Austin Wobrock on the year. 6 stolen bases. Tied with Andrew Heck for second on this team. Chris Grayson, the on-deck batter, leads with 12 stolen bases this season. Von Ruden looks into Corey Bass. Has his sign. He's set. Checks Wobrock at first. And the pitch on the way. And Heck takes this one inside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Andrew Heck. Austin Wobrock, the leadoff single, puts him at first base with nobody out. Heck batting righty against the right-hander Von Ruden. Wobrock takes his lead. Von Ruden has his sign. He's set. And the 1 ball, no strike pitch. And Heck lines this one to left center field and pretty deep. Going back is Coco Johnson, and this one will hit off the track and off the wall. Wobrock around third. He's going to score. Heck thinking 3, but he puts on the brakes. Wobrock scores. An RBI double for Andrew Heck. And the Wild Things cut the lead now. It's 3-1 Windy City. Andrew Heck's 11th RBI of the year, driving that one to the left center field gap and getting it down, getting the first run of the ball game in for your Wild Things. RBI double for Andrew Heck, and that brings to the plate the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson so far 0 for 1 here in this ball game, and in Thursday night's game, Grayson would go 1 for 5, single, 2 ground outs, a fly out, and a strikeout in the ball game. 3-1 Windy City leads. Wild Things in their first run of the game here in the top of the third. RBI double by Andrew Heck. Now runner at second, nobody out for Chris Grayson. Von Ruden has his sign, checks Heck over at second, and the pitch on the way. Grayson showing bunt, but he'll pull back and take a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things center fielder. Chris Grayson got the night off in Game 2 of Tuesday's doubleheader with the Lake Erie Crushers. His first night off as a Washington Wild Thing. Von Ruden has his sign, checks Heck at second, and the 1 ball, no strike pitch. And Grayson ground ball at the middle, and that's through for a base hit. Heck will be waved home. He's going to score, and it's an RBI single for Chris Grayson. Wild Things cut the lead even further. Now they're just down by 1, and it's 3-2. Back-to-back RBI hits for the Wild Things. For Chris Grayson, that's RBI number 12 on the year. And the score now, Windy City 3 and your Washington Wild Things 2 as Heck comes around to score. Runner at first, nobody out. And Corey Bass will go out to talk to his pitcher, Kyle Von Ruden. Back-to-back RBI hits, 3 straight hits in the inning in total, as Andrew Heck brings in the first run with an RBI double, and Chris Grayson brings in the second run with an RBI single. Ricky Rodriguez coming to the plate. Rodriguez so far 1 for 1, singled in his first at-bat. And on Thursday night, Rodriguez would end up going 2 for 4 with a double and a single, also flew out and grounded out in the ball game. 3-2 Windy City leads. Von Ruden throw over to first, and Grayson back in there. Chris Grayson on the year, 12 stolen bases, good for the team lead for the Washington Wild Things. Kyle Von Ruden looking into his catcher, Corey Bass. Ricky Rodriguez at the plate, got a hit with 2 outs his last time. Von Ruden has his sign, he's set, checks first, and the pitch on the way. And that one's high for a ball as Von Ruden falls behind Rodriguez. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. Wild Things scoring both runs in the game here in this inning. Back-to-back RBI hits by Andrew Heck and Chris Grayson. Von Ruden checks Grayson over there, has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, no strike offering. Rodriguez fouls this one back off to the screen, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. This inning started with an Austin Wobrock single up the middle. Then Andrew Heck an RBI double to left center field gap brought Wobrock in. And then Grayson followed that up with an RBI single of his own. Grayson standing at first base. Von Ruden looks into Corey Bass. Has his sign, he's set. Checks the runner at first. And the 1-1 offering. Grayson takes off early, now goes back, pitch high. And Grayson back at first base, 2 balls and a strike. Grayson's going to make the catch, and that's in time for out number 1. Chris Grayson has to go back to his position at first. Now 1 out here in the top of the third. 3-2 Windy City leads, and that brings to the plate the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins so far 0 for 1 in this one. Struck out looking in his first at-bat, and in Thursday night's game, Popkins would end up going 0 for 3. 3 strikeouts, and also walked in the ball game. 1 man out, top of the third. 2 runs in for the Wild Things after an RBI double by Andrew Heck and an RBI single by Chris Grayson. Von Ruden looks into Corey Bass, going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, checks first, and the pitch on the way. Popkins takes this one outside for a ball, and the count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 here on the Wild Things right fielder, 11 home runs and 40 RBIs on the year. Leads the team in both of those categories early on here in the season. Von Ruden set, checks Grayson at first, and the 1-ball, pitch. Throw over to first, and Grayson gets back in there. Von Ruden paying a lot of attention to Grayson over there. Grayson almost took off on an earlier pitch against Ricky Rodriguez. Did take off on the flyout by Rodriguez, so Von Ruden making sure he doesn't take off again. Has his sign, he's set, and the 1-ball, pitch. Popkins takes that one for a strike on the outside corner. Count goes even at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike here on the Wild Things cleanup hitter. Dave Popkins has been in that cleanup position all year long for the Washington Wild Things with an exclusion of the first week of the season. Kyle Von Ruden has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, 1 strike offering. Grayson taking off early once again, so Von Ruden will have to step off and looking back to the first base bag. Grayson antsy to get over there at second base. Von Ruden's been paying attention to him. Grayson trying to guess the pitch setup for Von Ruden. Von Ruden looks in, checks first, has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. Throw over to first, and Grayson back once again. So Von Ruden throwing over there for the 5th time here since Grayson has reached base, really trying to pay attention to him over there, make sure he doesn't take off on him. Grayson 12 steals on the year for your Wild Things. Von Ruden has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, 2 strike offering. Grayson takes off for second, pitch outside, the throw down, and it's not in time. Chris Grayson in there with a stolen base. Grayson's 13th steal of the year, and that puts a runner at second now with 1 man out. Grayson getting a very good jump there on Kyle Von Ruden. No matter what Von Ruden did, Grayson was going to take off eventually, and Grayson does get his stolen base. Now there's a runner at second with 1 man out. Popkins a chance to bring him home. 3-2 Windy City leads in this one. Von Ruden looking into his catcher Bass, going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set. Checks Grayson at second, and the 2 ball, 2 strike pitch. Swing and a miss there by Popkins. He strikes out, and that's out number 2. Second strikeout of the day for Dave Popkins. On the night for Kyle Von Ruden, his 5th strikeout here through 2 2/3 of an inning. Brings up the designated hitter, Alvaro Gonzalez. Gonzalez so far 0 for 1 with a strikeout. And in Thursday night's game, Gonzalez would go 1 for 4 with an RBI double, also into double play. Struck out and flew out on the day. 2 outs, top of the third. 3-2, Windy City leads over your Washington Wild Things. Kyle Von Ruden looking into Corey Bass. Von Ruden has his sign, he's set. Checks the runner at second, and the pitch on the way to Gonzalez. And he takes this one outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Alvaro Gonzalez played for the University of New Mexico Highlands before joining the Wild Things. For the University of New Mexico, hit 347 with 13 homers and 42 RBIs. Von Ruden checks his runner at second, and the 1 ball, no strike offering. Grayson jumping around out there. Here it comes. And that one's outside for a ball. Von Ruden falling behind Gonzalez now. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. Talked to Gonzalez about the transition to professional baseball. Says he likes the atmosphere around the professional leagues and gets to see a lot more fast. Sign checks second, and the 2 ball, no strike offering. Gonzalez takes this one inside. Now Von Ruden behind him. 3 balls and no strikes. 3-0 the count here on Alvaro Gonzalez. Gonzalez trying to reach base. Has driven in a run in each of his first 2 games of the Washington Wild Thing here on the season. Von Ruden looks in. Has his sign, he's set. Checks his runner at second, and the 3 ball, no strike offering. And that one's low, ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk here from Kyle Von Ruden puts another runner on for the Wild Things. First and second now with 2 men out, as that'll bring to the plate the catcher Kyle Pollock. Pollock so far in this one 0 for 1. Flew out in his first at-bat. In Thursday night's game, Pollock was behind the plate, and he ended up going 1 for 3. Popped out in the second, singled in the fifth, walked in the sixth, and lined out in inning number 8. That'll bring out the pitching coach for the Windy City Thunderbolts, Will Flint, as he'll talk to his starter, Kyle Von Ruden. Von Ruden flew along for the first 2 innings of this ball game, gave up 2 hits. Both those hits came with 2 outs. He was able to strand those men on base, but here in this inning, gave up 3 straight hits to start the inning. Wobrock singled, and then the RBI double by Andrew Heck, and the RBI single by Chris Grayson that made this score 3-2. They got a fly out and a strikeout, but then just walked Alvaro Gonzalez on 4 pitches with 2 men out. Runners at first and second for the Wild Things. 2 outs. Kyle Pollock at the plate as the meeting on the mound has concluded for the Windy City Thunderbolts. Pollock now in there. Von Ruden looks in, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And Pollock takes this one in the inside corner for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Pollock, the 7th man to the plate for the Wild Things here in this 3rd inning. They've scored 2 runs as 3 straight hits started this inning. Von Ruden has his sign, checks Grayson at second, and the no ball, 1 strike pitch. And Pollock takes this one outside for a ball. Count now goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 here on the Wild Things catcher. Kyle Pollock catches the majority of the games. Backup Steve Solkowski only catching in double headers as he last caught in River City on August the 6th for the second game of that doubleheader. Von Ruden has his sign, checks second, the 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. And Pollock takes this one for a strike at the letters, and the count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 men out. 3-2 Windy City leads over your Wild Things. Wild Things scoring 2 in the inning on an RBI double by Heck and an RBI single by Chris Grayson. Kyle Von Ruden looking in, going through the signs. Von Ruden has one he likes, he's set. Checks Grayson at second, and now he'll step off as he wants to go through the signs once more. As he looked out at second, didn't like what he saw, so he'll go through it again. Chris Grayson, the runner at second. He hit that RBI single. Alvaro Gonzalez at first after he walked with 2 men out. Von Ruden has his sign. He's set. The 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And Pollock takes this one in the dirt. Gets away from Bass. Throw down to second. And Kyle Pollock still at the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Von Ruden has his sign. He's set. And the 2-2 pitch. And Pollock takes it outside for a ball. Count goes full 3-2. 3 runs in the inning for the Wild Things. That last run coming in via the air. The throwing error by Corey Bass allows Grayson to score. There's a runner at second now with 2 men out. 3-3 here in the top of the 3rd. Von Ruden has his sign. He's set. Checks second. And the 3 ball, 2 strike pitch. And Pollock pops this one up. Foul territory off to the right. Balkwell giving chase over by the wall. He leaps. And it'll go into the stands. Foul. Count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 here on Kyle Pollock. Larry Balkwell giving that a nice chase over there. Balkwell, the backup catcher for the Windy City Thunderbolts, getting a start out there at first tonight. Ran all the way over to the wall here in foul territory. Had to leap up, but that ball landed about the 4th row of seats on that right side. Kyle Pollock digs back in. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Alvaro Gonzalez takes his lead from second. Von Ruden has his sign. He's set. Checks Gonzalez out there in the 3-2 offering. And Pollock fouls this one off once again back to that right side. Count remains full with 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2, 2 men out. 3 runs into the inning for your Wild Things. RBI double by Heck, RBI single by Grayson, and a wild pitch bringing in the 3 runs. Alvaro Gonzalez takes his lead from second. Kyle Von Ruden looking in. Von Ruden going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set. Checks second, and the 3 ball, 2 strike pitch. And Pollock takes this one inside, ball 4. So back-to-back 2-out walks now for Kyle Von Ruden. There are runners at first and second for the Wild Things with 2 men out. And that brings to the plate the first baseman, Justin Garcia. Garcia so far, 1 for 1, doubled in the first inning. His first hit as a Washington Wild Thing. And he did not play in Thursday night's ball games. Only played in 1 other game for the Wild Things. Went 0 for 2 with a walk in game 2 of the doubleheader against the Lake Erie Crushers. Alvaro Gonzalez at second, Kyle Pollock at first. Both reached on 2-out walks as the Wild Things now try to take the lead here in the top of the 3rd. Von Ruden has his sign. He's set. Checks the runner at second, and the pitch on the way. And Garcia lines this one back to the screen, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Justin Garcia out there at first base today for the Wild Things. His first game as a Wild Thing, he was in left field for Game 2 of that doubleheader. First base today with Jimmy Yezzo dealing with the ankle injury. No balls and a strike here on Justin Garcia. Bats from the left-handed side. Played for the Houston Astros organization in rookie ball. Hit 174 earlier this season with 1 home run and 3 RBIs. Picked up by the Wild Things right before that doubleheader on Tuesday night. Von Ruden has his sign. He's set. Checks second. And the 0-1 pitch. And Garcia takes this one high for a ball. Count goes even at 1 ball, 1 strike. Kyle Von Ruden struggling here in the third inning. Give 3 straight hits to start the inning. That kind of took his confidence away. Then got Ricky Rodriguez to fly out. Dave Popkins struck out. Looked like he was going to get out of it, just allowing the 1 run. And then he's come back. Has ended up giving up 2 more in this inning. Von Ruden has his sign. Checks second. The 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. And Garcia pops this one up on the infield. Backing up on its Blair Beck. Beck will call everyone off, and he makes the catch, and that's in time for out number 3. But not before the Wild Things get 3 runs in the inning on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. After 2.5 the score, your Washington Wild Things 3 and the Windy City Thunderbolts 3. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. POGS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. POGS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to POGS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the third, and the score, the Windy City Thunderbolts 3 and your Washington Wild Things 3. Luke Wilkins back out there for his third inning of work. Last inning, Windy City getting 2 runs off him as Cody Kiefer led off the inning with a solo home run, his 4th home run of the year. That gave Windy City a 2-0 lead. Next batter, Larry Balkwell would strike out before Taylor Smart singled. Smart would then steal second and move up to third on a wild pitch. There was a runner at third with 1 man out before Coco Johnson had a sacrifice fly, Johnson's 25th RBI of the year. That made it 3-0 Windy City before Tim Zier would ground out on a nice diving play by Austin Walbrock to end the inning. Due up here in the bottom of the third, Corey Bass, Charlie Thurber, and Blair Beck, 3, 4, and 5 against Luke Wilkins. As Corey Bass making his way to the plate here to lead things off in the bottom half of the third. So far in the game, Bass 0 for 1, reached on an error, and in Wednesday night's ball game will go 1 for 3, scoring a run and walking. First pitch, and that one's a called strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Windy City Thunderbolts catcher, Corey Bass. Bass, the primary catcher for Windy City. Wilkins has his sign. Here's the 0-1. And Bass takes this one low for a ball. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Corey Bass and Larry Balkwell, the 2 catchers for Windy City. Balkwell out there at first today, so both catchers are playing in this ball game. Wilkins has his sign. He's set. The 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. And Bass hitting this one to the right side. Justin Garcia will hand it on to Hop. Flips to Wilkins covering, and that's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Thunderbolts here in the bottom of the third. And that brings to the plate the right fielder, Charlie Thurber. Thurber so far 1 for 1. RBI single in inning number 1. Thurber in Wednesday night's game went 2 for 4 on the night. So stepping in, 1 man out, bottom of the third. 3-3 the score between your Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts here in Crestwood, Illinois, game 1 of this 3-game series. Wilkins has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And that one's inside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Charlie Thurber out in right field. Didn't see Thurber in the last series between these two teams. Not a part of the Windy City Thunderbolts. Wilkins has his sign, the 1-0. And that one's a called strike in the knees. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Not much has changed on this Windy City Thunderbolts roster since the last time the Wild Things saw this team. Only 3 new players in terms of position players. The 1-1, and that one's high for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. Charlie Thurber, one of the new guys. Also Kyle Wood, a new guy for the position players. And for pitchers, couple new guys. Jake Stolley and Austin Delmont. We'll see them hopefully later in the game in the bullpen. This one grounded to second. Fink has it, throwing to first, and that's in time for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Thunderbolts here in the bottom of the third, and that brings to the plate the third baseman, Blair Beck. Beck so far in this game 0 for 1. Flew out in inning number 1. 2 men out, bottom of the third. 3-3 to score between your Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Game 1 of this 3-game series. Blair Beck batting from the right side. Beck a late addition to the lineup as Ransom Lalonde was scratched. Beck came in to play third base, and Taylor Smart moved over to shortstop. Luke Wilkins has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Beck takes this one for a strike on the outside corner. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Wilkins so far 3 strikeouts in the game through 2 2/3 innings of work, so he's had that strikeout pitch working early on. Wilkins has his sign. Here's the no ball, 1 strike offering. That one's a called strike as well, and Wilkins jumping ahead here, the third batter in this inning. No balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. 2 men out from Standard Bank Stadium. 3-3 score between your Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Wilkins has his sign, the 0-2 offering. And a check swing there by Beck. Didn't go around, says home plate umpire Christopher Viverito. And the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Wilkins in this inning seems to be much more confident on the mound. A little shaky with his pitches in the first and second inning. This inning, pounding the strike zone with authority. Has his sign, the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And a swing and a miss. Strikes out Blair Beck. And that in the inning. 1-2-3 go the Thunderbolts here in the third. And after 3 innings of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 3 and the Windy City Thunderbolts 3. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the fourth, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 3 and the Windy City Thunderbolts 3. Last inning for your Washington Wild Things, they would score all 3 runs they have so far in this ball game. Austin Walbrock would start things off with a single, then Andrew Heck came through with an RBI double line into the left center field gap. Walbrock came around to score, and that made the score 3-1 Windy City. Next batter, Chris Grayson came up, and he would drive in Andrew Heck, an RBI single. That made it 3-2 Windy City. Then Ricky Rodriguez would fly out. Dave Popkins would strike out before Alvaro Gonzalez would walk. So there'd be runners at first and second with 2 men out before a wild pitch allowed Chris Grayson to move up to third and Alvaro Gonzalez to second, and a throwing error by Corey Bass brought Chris Grayson home. That made the score 3-3. Next batter, Kyle Pollock would walk. Then Justin Garcia popped out to end the inning. Due up here in the fourth, Grant Fink, Austin Walbrock, and Andrew Heck, 8, 9, and 1. Facing off against Kyle Von Ruden. Grant Fink making his way to the plate to lead things off here in the top of the fourth. Fink so far on the day, 0 for 1 with a strikeout here in this one. And on Thursday night, hit his 8th home run of the year, as well as going 1 for 3 with a walk. Von Ruden looking in, has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Fink grounds this one foul off to the left towards the Windy City dugout. And the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things second baseman, Grant Fink. Been playing a lot there lately. Jamadek Magruder trying to heal up from a hamstring injury. Von Ruden has his sign, the 0-1, and Fink takes this one for a strike as well. That one hitting the outside corner, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count here on Fink, batting right-handed against the righty Kyle Von Ruden. Von Ruden has his sign, he's set, and the no-ball 2-strike pitch. Fink takes this one for a called strike 3. He strikes out, and that's out number 1 here in the top of the fourth. Kyle Von Ruden doing very well in the strikeout department on the mound. That's his 6th strikeout here through 3 1/3 innings. That brings up the shortstop, Austin Walbrock. Walbrock so far 1 for 1, singled and scored a run in inning number 3. Thursday night would go 0 for 3, grounded out twice, struck out and walked in the ball game. One man out here in the top of the fourth. 3-3 the score between your Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Kyle Von Ruden looking into his catcher Bass. Von Ruden's pitch. And Wobrock grounded this one to the right side, and that's a base hit. So Wobrock singles in each of his first two at-bats as he's on here with one man out. The runner at first for the Wild Things, and that'll bring to the plate the left fielder Andrew Heck. Heck so far in the day, 1 for 2, struck out in the first, and drove in the first run of the ball game with an RBI double in inning number 3. That RBI was his 11th RBI of the season as he hit that one to left center, bringing Wobrock in. But for Austin Wobrock, finding holes early on. First single was a ground ball at the middle. This single, a ground ball through the hole on the right side. Kyle Von Ruden looking in, has his sign, checks the runner at first, and the pitch on the way. And Heck, a half-hearted swing there, and that'll be strike one. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Heck didn't want to go after that pitch, but already started swinging and couldn't hold up. No balls and a strike. Austin Wobrock, the runner at first for the Wild Things. He takes his lead out there. Kyle Von Ruden looking in. Von Ruden has his sign. He's set, and the no-ball, one-strike offering. And a swing and a miss there by Heck, and the count goes to 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 man out. Temperature now dropped to 81 degrees here in the top of the fourth. We were up near 87 to start the ball game. As temperature getting a little cooler out there as the shade moves over the infield. Looking in is the pitcher Kyle Von Ruden. Wobrock takes his lead from first. Von Ruden has his sign. He's set, and the no-ball, 2-strike offering. And a ground ball to the left side, handled by the shortstop Smart. To second for 1, on to first, and it's not in time for the double play. Andrew Heck reaching on a fielder's choice. 6-4 on the putout. There's still a runner at first with 2 men out. Wobrock cut down at second. Andrew Heck replaces him at first, so runner at first, 2 men out, and that brings to the plate the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson so far 1 for 2, grounded out in the first, and an RBI single in inning number 3. 2 men out, top of the third. 3-3 the score between your Washington Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Andrew Heck, the runner at first. Heck, 6 stolen bases on the year. He's tied with Austin Wobrock for second on the team. Kyle Von Ruden looking in, has his sign. He's set, checks the runner at first, and the pitch on the way. And Grayson takes this one outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. When Von Ruden's been missing today, it's been on that outside part of the plate. He's had trouble hitting that outside corner against these Wild Things hitters. Von Ruden has his sign. He's set in the 1-0 offering. And that one's low for a ball, blocked in the dirt by Corey Bass. Count now goes to 2 balls and no strikes. We've been seeing opposing pitchers do that a lot to the Wild Things lately. They've been using that outside part of the plate, trying to get these Wild Things to pull the ball the other way. 2 balls, no strikes. Andrew Heck takes his lead from first. Von Ruden looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 2-ball, no-strike pitch. Grayson takes this one outside for a ball. Von Ruden falling behind now, 3 balls and no strikes. 3-0 the count, 2 men out, top of the fourth, 3-3 score between your Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Kyle Von Ruden has his sign, he's set, checks the runner at first, and the 3-ball, no-strike offering. And Grayson takes this one, this time in there for a strike at the letters, and the count goes to 3-1. 3 balls and 1 strike. Chris Grayson spent some time in minor league baseball, played for the the Texas Rangers for 3 seasons in minor league baseball before going to the Sioux Falls Canaries of the American Association, and now coming to the Wild Things. Von Ruden's 3-1. Heck takes off for second. This ball popped up on the infield. Blair Beck coming in. He'll call everyone off, and he makes the catch, and that's in time for out number 3. No runs in the inning for the Wild Things on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 3.5, the score. Windy City Thunderbolts 3, your Washington Wild Things 3. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the fourth, and the score. the Windy City Thunderbolts 3 and your Washington Wild Things 3. Last inning for the Windy City Thunderbolts, they would go 1-2-3. Corey Bass grounded out, Charlie Thurber grounded out, and Blair Beck struck out to end the inning. First 1-2-3 inning of the night for Luke Wilkins. Due up here in the fourth, Johnny Ironman, Cody Kiefer, and Larry Balkwill. 6, 7, and 8 against Luke Wilkins. Wilkins calming down in that third inning. Looked like he had a lot more confidence on the hill. Was pounding the strike zone with authority. Looks to do that again here in the fourth inning. Now, Wilkins, not a rookie out there on the mound. Spent 6 seasons in Australian baseball before joining the Wild Things last season. Pitched for the Canberra Cavalry for 1 season. And then the Sydney Blue Sox in his hometown of Sydney, Australia from 2015 to 2011, spent 5 seasons with the Sydney Blue Sox. Says in his second year with the Washington Wild Things, Kirk spent part of 2015 with the Wild Things and part with the Blue Sox, and now again in his second season with the Wild Things. Stepping in to lead things off here in the bottom of the fourth, Johnny Ironman. Ironman so far 0 for 1. Wilkins has his sign, the pitch. Ironman showing bunt, but he'll take this one low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Johnny Ironman in that Wednesday game ended up going 0 for 4, but did drive in a run and struck out twice in the game. Wilkins has his sign. He's set, and the 1 ball, no strike pitch. That one's in the dirt as well from Wilkins, so starts out this inning behind the first batter, 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count here on Johnny Ironman, and Luke Wilkins trying to get ahead like he did in that third inning. Hopes to get back into this count. Wilkins has his sign, the 2-0. And that one's high for a ball. Count now goes to 3 balls and no strikes. 3-0 here on Johnny Ironman. Ironman out in center field. Standing in there, at 6'1", 205. Here's the 3-0. And Ironman takes this one for a strike, taking all the way there. And the count goes to 3 balls and a strike. Wilkins hitting that outside corner there on a 3-0 pitch. Confidence to throw his pitch out there. Wilkins has his sign. He's set. Here's the 3-1. And that one's in there for a strike as well, so the count will now go full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. Cody Kiefer, the designated hitter, is on deck for the Windy City Thunderbolts. Wilkins has his sign. He's set in the 3-2 offering. And this ball hit down the right field line. It's hooking and will go foul into the seats. Looked like it had home run distance if it would have been fair, but the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2, nobody out here in the bottom of the fourth. 3-3 score between your Washington Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Luke Wilkins has his sign. He's set in the 3-ball, 2-strike pitch. And that one's high ball 4. So leadoff walk here for Wilkins in the bottom of the fourth. Johnny Ironman reaches base, and that is the third time in this game in 4 innings that the leadoff man has reached for the Windy City Thunderbolts. A runner at first with nobody out, and that brings to the plate the designated hitter, Cody Kiefer. Kiefer so far, 1 for 1, hit a solo home run in inning number 2. Was his 4th home run of the year. In Wednesday night's ball game, Cody Kiefer did not play in that one as Johnny Ironman was DH and Blair Beck was in center field. Taking off for second is Ironman. Throw down, and it's not in time. So Johnny Ironman in there with a stolen base. Gets a runner in scoring position for Windy City with nobody out. For Johnny Ironman on the year, that is stolen base number 3 in 43 games played. Wilkins looking into his catcher, Kyle Pollock. Wilkins has his sign. He's set. Checks the runner at second, and the no-ball, 1-strike pitch. Kiefer takes this one low in the dirt, and the count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Kyle Pollock doing a nice job of blocking that one back there. Pollock's been very good defensively for your Washington Wild Things, not allowing very many pass balls to get by him, and he plays a good defense behind the plate. Johnny Ironman, the runner at second. Luke Wilkins looking in. Wilkins has his sign. He's set, and the 1 ball, 1-strike pitch. And Kiefer pops this one up back behind the plate, goes behind the stadium, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Standard Bank Stadium, located in Orland Park, Chicago, the suburb of Chicago, about a half-hour away from the city, the south side, where the Chicago White Sox play. Lots of White Sox fans here in the south side of Chicago. The Cubs, not very liked around these parts. Wilkins has his sign, the 1-2, and this ball hit down the left field line. That'll hook into the seats, foul, and the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 here on Cody Kiefer, the DH. Wilkins trying to retire him. Kiefer took him deep in the second inning. Pitch left right down the middle by Luke Wilkins, and Kiefer crushed it over the right field wall. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and nobody out here in the bottom of the fourth. 3-3 score. Johnny Ironman takes his lead from second. Luke Wilkins looking in. Wilkins has his sign. He's set. And the 1-ball, 2-strike offering. And this one grounded towards first. Justin Garcia will handle it. He'll take him to the bag himself. And that's in time for out number 1. Moving up to third on the play is Johnny Ironman. So now there's a runner at third. And 1 man out for the Windy City Thunderbolts. That brings to the plate the first baseman, Larry Balkwill. Balkwill so far in this one is 0 for 1 with a strikeout on the day. 1 man out here in the bottom of the fourth. Runner at third for Windy City. Balkwill at the plate. Infield comes in for the Washington Wild Things. 3-3 score. Wild Things trying to prevent the run and keep this ball game tied. Luke Wilkins looks in, has his sign. He's set. And the pitch on the way. And that one low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes here on the Windy City first baseman. Larry Balkwill, the backup catcher for the Windy City Thunderbolts, only caught 1 game out of the first 6 played between these two teams back at Consol Energy Park. Wilkins 1-0 offering, and that one swung on a miss by Balkwill. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1, big swing and a miss there by Balkwill. Balkwill struck out his last time, and Wilkins would love to get another big strikeout here. Currently on the day for Wilkins has 4 strikeouts through 3 1/3 innings of work. Wilkins has his sign. He's set, and the 1-1. And that one's outside, blocked by Kyle Pollock in the dirt. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1. Luke Wilkins falling behind Larry Balkwill, trying to fight back in this count. One silver lining for this start so far is Wilkins has only walked 1 man. That walk coming to the last batter, or to 2 batters ago, Johnny Ironman. Wilkins has his sign, checks the runner at third, and the 2-ball, 1-strike pitch. That one's a called strike, and the count evens up at 2-2. Larry Balkwill not liking the call as he turns away from the home plate umpire, asking him about that one, and the count stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2, 1 man out, runner at third for the Thunderbolts. That's Johnny Ironman over there. Ironman walked to lead off the inning, then stole second base. Here's the pitch. This one grounded to third. Ricky Rodriguez has it, looks his man back to the base, throw over to first, and that's in time for out number 2. Big out number 2 there for Luke Wilkins as he keeps Johnny Ironman right where he is, and that'll bring to the plate the number 9 hitter, Taylor Smart. Smart so far in the day, 1 for 1 with a single here in this ball game. 2 men out, bottom of the fourth, 3-3 score between your Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Johnny Ironman led off this inning with a walk. He stole second and moved up to third on the ground out by Cody Kiefer, and Larry Balkwill just grounded out for the second out of the inning. Luke Wilkins looking into Kyle Pollock, trying to get through a scoreless inning now. Wilkins has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. Check swing there by Taylor Smart, but he went around, says Christopher Viverito, behind the plate, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count, 3-3 the score here between the Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Runner at third with 2 men out. Wilkins has his sign, he's set in the 0-1 offering. And that one's outside for a ball. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count, 2 men out, bottom of the fourth. Luke Wilkins, the right-hander, on the mound. Wilkins looking into his catcher, Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. And the no-ball, 2-strike pitch. And that one's in the dirt for a ball. Count now goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 here on Taylor Smart. Luke Wilkins looking for a big strikeout here to end the inning. Runner at third with 2 men out here in this bottom of the fourth inning. Wilkins has his sign, he's set. And the 1-2 pitch after he steps off as wants to go through the signs once more. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Luke Wilkins looks in, has his sign, he's set. And the 1-2 pitch. And this one grounded foul. The count stays at 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 is that one fouled off by Taylor Smart. Smart staying alive here against Luke Wilkins. Good battle here in the bottom of the fourth. Runner at third, 2 men out. Johnny Ironman takes his lead over there. Wild Things defense, Austin Wardrock shifted a little bit to the left. There's a big hole up the middle. Here's the pitch from Wilkins. And a check swing. He went around, says Vivarian. And that is out number 3. 5th strikeout of the day for Luke Wilkins. No runs in the inning for the Thunderbolts on no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on after the walk. After 4 innings of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 3, Windy City Thunderbolts 3. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology?
for Washington Wild Things 3 and the Windy City Thunderbolts 3. Last inning for your Washington Wild Things. They threatened but did not score, as Grant Fink struck out to lead things off. Then Austin Wobrock would single. Andrew Heck would then hit into a fielder's choice, replacing Wobrock at first base before Chris Grayson popped out to end the inning. Due up here in the fifth, Ricky Rodriguez, Dave Popkins, and Alvaro Gonzalez. 3, 4, and 5 for your Washington Wild Things. For Kyle Von Ruden, ran into trouble in that third inning, but other than that, has been pretty on the mound. Only faced 4 men in the first inning, faced another 4 in the second, and then faced another 4 men in the fourth inning. So Von Ruden looking for another scoreless inning. Tie game between your Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Ricky Rodriguez making his way to the plate to lead things off here in the top of the fifth. Rodriguez so far 1 for 2, singled in the first, and flew out in inning number 3. Nobody out top of the fifth. Rodriguez bats from the right side against the righty Kyle Von Ruden. Rodriguez, one of 4 All-Stars representing the team in Florence, Kentucky this season for the All-Star game. Kyle Von Ruden looking into his catcher, Corey Bass. Von Ruden has his sign. He's set, and the pitch on the way. And a swing and a miss there by Rodriguez, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things third baseman. We've seen Rodriguez a lot as a designated hitter lately. Alvaro Gonzalez getting some chances at third. Here's the 0-1, and a check swing there by Rodriguez, but that one's low and outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 here on the Wild Things third baseman, who got voted in as an all-star at that third base position. Outfielder by trade, so learning third base this season. The 1-1, that one swung on a miss, and the count now goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2, nobody out top of the fifth. Von Ruden getting ahead of the first man he's faced here in this inning. Gave up all 3 runs he's given up in this game in the top of the third. Von Ruden has his sign. He's set, and the 1 ball, 2 strike offering. And that one's in the dirt. Rodriguez wisely laying off. Corey Bass blocking that one, and the count goes even at 2-2. Von Ruden tried to get the chase there from Rodriguez, but Rodriguez no dice at the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Von Ruden looking in. Has his sign. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And that one's low for a ball, so after getting ahead 0-2, Kyle Von Ruden tried to get Ricky Rodriguez to chase on the last 3 pitches, but Rodriguez laying off as they were all in the dirt. 3 balls, 2 strikes on deck. Hopkins. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And this one fouled off by Rodriguez. Count remains full, at 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2, nobody out top of the fifth. Capacity crowd here at Standard Bank Stadium for Ricky Rodriguez, Los Angeles, California native, big Dodgers fan. Played for the Amarillo Thunderheads last season. Here's the 3-2, and Rodriguez chops this one in front of the plate. Handled on a high hop by Von Popkins. Takes this one for a strike on the outside corner. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild. And that one's high for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Groats has been primarily the closer for the Wild Things. 10 saves on the season, but after throwing 6 shutout innings in continuation game, Groats going to get a shot as a starting pitcher tomorrow. Von Ruden's 2-2 offering. And this ball popped up to the left side. That'll get back into the seats foul. So the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dave Popkins earlier today in batting practice working with left fielder Andrew Heck, helping him to drive the ball to the gaps here in this ballpark. And it paid off in the third inning. Heck hitting that RBI double. Here's the 2-2. And that one's outside for a ball. Count now goes full to Popkins. 3 balls and 2 strikes. That's the good thing about this Wild Things team. You're not just helped out by the coaches, but the players are just as helpful as well. I've been talking to a couple of the guys. So it's a great atmosphere around here. Great to hear from your peers. 3-2. And this ball hit the left field and deep. Coco Johnson going back towards the track. He'll be called off by the center fielder Ironman, and Ironman makes the catch against the wall. That's in time for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Wild Things here in the top of the fifth, and that brings to the plate the designated hitter, Alvaro Gonzalez. Gonzalez so far in this one 0 for 1, struck out looking in the second, and walked in inning number 3. 2 men out here in the top of the fifth. Designated hitter Gonzalez at the plate. Gonzalez, his first game as a DH for the Wild Things. First 2 appearances were at the third base position. As Kyle Von Ruden stepping off, had something in his eye there on the mound. Gets it out, has this turf field here at Windy City. Used to be a natural grass field, but ProGrass installing the turf field here, helping them play baseball more often with the rain here in Windy City. First pitch, and that one, Von Ruden looks in. Here's the pitch. And that one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 here on the right-handed hitting DH for the Wild Things. Trying to get on with 2 men out. Von Ruden looks in, has his sign, the 2-1 offering. And Gonzalez takes that one outside as well, so the count now goes to 3 balls and a strike. Last time Gonzalez was at the plate, got a 4-pitch walk from Kyle Von Ruden. Von Ruden has his sign. He's set in the 3-1. And Gonzalez lining this one to left field. Coco Johnson comes on. He's not going to make the catch. Alvaro Gonzalez on with a 2-out single as there's a runner at first with 2 men out now for your Washington Wild Things. And that'll bring to the plate the catcher, Kyle Pollock. Pollock so far in the day, 0 for 1. Flew out in the first and walked in inning number 3. Runner at first for the Wild Things with 2 men out. Alvaro Gonzalez reaching on the single. And that'll bring Pollock to the plate. Pollock so far 10 RBIs on the year, 2 home runs. Von Ruden has his sign. He's set, and the pitch on the way. And Pollock takes this one low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things catcher. Kyle Von Ruden's been a little wild here in this one, as that'll prompt action in the Windy City Thunderbolts bullpen. Jake Stolley warming up out there. Alvaro Gonzalez taking his lead from first. Von Ruden has his sign. He's set, and the 1-0 offering. And Pollock takes this one outside for a ball as well. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 here on the Wild Things catcher. Kyle Von Ruden having to labor through these last 3 innings of work. Flew through the first 2 innings of this ball game, throwing 12 and 18 pitches. But these last 3 innings have been a struggle for him. Has his sign and the 2-0 offering. And Pollock lines this one to left field, and that's a base hit. Back-to-back 2-out singles have runners at first and second for your Wild Things now with 2 men out. And that brings to the plate the first baseman, Justin Garcia. Garcia so far 1 for 2 on the day, doubled in the second inning, and popped out in inning number 3. 3-3 score between your Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Back-to-back 2-out singles have runners at first and second. And Garcia going to try to get his first Wild Things RBI here. Got his first hit earlier in the ball game. Corey Bass currently out talking to his pitcher, Kyle Von Ruden. Through 4 2/3 innings so far for Von Ruden. Just giving up the 3 runs. 2 of those runs earned on 8 hits. And after the meeting on the mound between the catcher and his pitcher, that'll bring out the manager for the Windy City Thunderbolts, Ron Biga. And we'll see if he goes to the bullpen here, if this is just a conversation with his pitcher. No signal out there yet, as Ron Biga is just going out to talk, and now he'll make the motion to the bullpen. So pitching change here for Windy City in the top of the 5th. We're going to take a break here on the MSA Sports Network. We'll be right back. Currently in the top of the 5th, the score, Windy City 3, your Washington Wild Things 3 here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfill playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, currently in the top of the 5th with 2 men out, and a pitching change for the Windy City Thunderbolts is coming on now is left-hander Jake Stolley. Stolley so far on the year, a record of 1-1, a 4.50 ERA, appearing in his 4th game. He has made 1 start this year, has thrown 10 innings of work, giving up 5 runs, all earned on 12 hits, 3 walks, and 12 strikeouts for Jake Stolley. So Stolley into the game for Kyle Von Ruden. Kyle Von Ruden, book not officially closed on him yet. Goes 4 2/3. To this point, he's given up 3 runs, 2 of them earned, on 8 hits, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. However, still responsible for both men on base, Alvaro Gonzalez at second and Kyle Pollock at first. Justin Garcia steps to the plate now. Garcia so far 1 for 2, doubled off Von Ruden in the second, then popped out in inning number 3. So Justin Garcia going to try to come through against the lefty Jake Stolley. Ron Biga wanting to go for the numbers match here in the middle part of this ball game. Jake Stolley looking into Corey Bass. Stolley, the new pitcher. Stolly has his sign, holds at the belt, checks the runner at second, and the pitch on the way. And that one's in there for a strike at the letters. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Justin Garcia. Garcia still looking for his first Wild Things RBI. Trying to come through with it here with 2 men out in the top of the 5th. Jake Stolly looking in. Stolly has his sign. He's set. And the no ball, 1 strike offering. And Garcia takes this one outside and low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count for Kyle Von Ruden. The 4 2/3 innings here in tonight's ball game is officially the shortest outing of his career as a Thunderbolt so far. Previous short was 5 in his first start for Windy City. Stolly has his sign, the 1-1. And Garcia takes this one for a strike. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 on the Wild Things first baseman. Lefty-lefty matchup as manager Ron Biga going with the left-hander out of the bullpen against the big left-handed slugger for the Washington Wild Things, Justin Garcia. Alvaro Gonzalez takes his lead from second. Pollock takes his lead from first. Jake Stolly has his sign. He's set. And the 1 ball, 2 strike offering. That one's outside for a ball. Garcia laying off. And the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2, 2 men out, top of the 5th. 3 runs, 8 hits, and an error for the Wild Things. 3 runs, 4 hits, and an error for the Windy City Thunderbolts. Jake Stolly looking in, going through the signs as Justin Garcia wiping his brow, stepping back in. 2 out singles have runners at first and second for the Wild Things. Stolly has his sign, checks Gonzalez at second, and the 2-2. And Garcia pops this one up. Shallow center field. Johnny Ironman coming in on it. He'll call everyone off and he'll make the catch. And that is out number 3. So no runs in the inning for the Wild Things on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. After 4.5 here at Standard Bank Stadium in Crestwood, Illinois, the score, your Washington Wild Things 3 and the Windy City Thunderbolts 3. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. POGS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. POGS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to POGS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 5th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 3 and Luke Wilkins. And Wilkins has been very good since that second inning, 1-2-3 in the third, faced only 4 men in inning number 4, and has definitely found his confidence here in this one to this point. So see if he can continue it here through the 5th inning, as Luke Wilkins trying to give his Wild Things a quality start here tonight. 1-2-3 due up for the Thunderbolts. Is making his way to the plate right now to lead things off is the left fielder Coco Johnson. Johnson so far 1 for 1, doubled and scored a run in the first, and hit a sacrifice fly in inning number 2. Nobody out bottom of the 5th. 3-3 the score between your Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Johnson leads his team with 37 stolen bases for Coco Johnson stepping to the plate. Saw a lot of time in right field for the Windy City Thunderbolts last time these two teams met, out in left field here in this one. Luke Wilkins looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And Johnson takes this one for a strike on the outside corner, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count, 3rd time through the lineup for the Windy City Thunderbolts as they face off against Wilkins. Wilkins 0-1 offering, and this one hit towards center field. Chris Grayson going back towards the track in a full run towards the wall, and he makes the catch, banging into the wall, and that's good for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Thunderbolts here in the bottom of the 5th. Johnson giving that one a ride, but Garcia able to run it down, and that'll bring to the plate the second baseman, Tim Zier. Zier so far 0 for 2, struck out in the first, and was robbed of a base hit on a nice diving play by Austin Wobrock in the second inning. 1 man out, top of the 5th. Zier at the plate. Wobrock sprawling all the way out at shortstop to make that stop in Zier's last at-bat. Righty on righty matchup. Luke Wilkins looking in. Wilkins going through the signs. Has one he likes. He's set. And the pitch on the way. And this one's low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes here on Zier. Well, as this game has gone on, we've seen Wilkins get more and more confident on the mound, able to throw his pitches for more strikes and get ahead of hitters. Wilkins has his sign, the 1-0 offering. And Zier grounds this one to the left side. Austin Wobrock gloves, throws on to first, and that's in time for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Thunderbolts here in the bottom of the 5th. And with 2 outs, that'll bring to the plate the catcher, Corey Bass. Bass so far in the day is 0 for 2, reached on an error in his first at-bat, and grounded out in inning number 3. 2 men out, bottom of the 5th, 3-3 the score between your Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts here at Standard Bank Stadium. Corey Bass, the primary catcher, as we said, playing in front of a capacity crowd here at Standard Bank Stadium. The 5th sellout in the history of the Windy City Thunderbolts. Wilkins pitch, and Bass fouls this one off to the screen. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Windy City Thunderbolts catcher. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. Luke Wilkins, the Sydney, Australia native on the mound, making his 14th start of the year, or 14th game, 13th start for the Wild Things. Has his sign, the 0-1. And this ball hit the center field. Chris Grayson going back on it towards the track, and he'll make the catch. That is out number 3. 1-2-3 go the Thunderbolts here in the 5th. We've played 5 here at Standard Bank Stadium, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 3, Windy City Thunderbolts.
No resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 6th. And the score, your Washington Wild Things 3, Windy City Thunderbolts 3. Jake Stolley back out there for his first full inning of relief. Came in to relieve the starter, Kyle Von Ruden, in the top of inning number 5. Last inning for the Wild Things, Ricky Rodriguez grounded out to start things. Then Dave Popkins flew out, and then back-to-back 2-out singles by Alvaro Gonzalez and Kyle Pollock put runners at first and second with 2 men out. That would be all for the starter, Von Ruden. Then Stolley came in and got Justin Garcia to fly out to end the inning. Due up here in the 6th, Grant Fink, Austin Wobrock, and Andrew Heck, 8, 9, and 1, facing off against Jake Stolley. Final line for Kyle Von Ruden went 4 2/3 in this one, gave up 3 runs, both 2 earned, on 8 hits, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts of the day for Kyle Von Ruden. So his night is done. The 4 2/3, officially the shortest outing of the season for Kyle Von Ruden. His previous short was 5 innings in his Frontier League debut against Florence, where he went 5 and gave up just 1 run in the contest. Stepping in to lead things off here for the Wild Things in the top of the 6th, second baseman Grant Fink. Fink so far 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts here in this ball game. 1 looking and 1 swinging. Fink stepping in against Jake Stolley. Stolley in for his first full inning of relief for the Windy City Thunderbolts. Stolley has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And a swing and a miss there by Fink, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things second baseman. Jake Stolley's first year with the Windy City Thunderbolts as well. Stolley has his sign, and the 0-1 offering. And a swing and a miss there by Fink, and again, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 here on the Wild Things second baseman. He's played in 3 games. Was last time out August 5th against the Evansville Otters. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and this one fouled off into the Wild Things dugout. Watch out over there, as there's no netting in front of these dugouts, and the count stays at no balls and 2 strikes. That one thankfully hitting off an empty seat in the first row of seats, getting over the Wild Things dugout, but the dugout reacting over there in case that foul ball got in there. No balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Fink the leadoff man here in the top of the 6th. Stolley has his sign, the 0-2. A check swing by Fink. Did he go around? No, says the field umpire Steve Bartelstein. And the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fink able to hold up there on that pitch. Outside and low from Jake Stolley. Lefty on righty matchup. Stolley looking in. Has his sign. He's set. And the 1-2 pitch. And Fink takes this one for a called strike 3. Strikes out for the 3rd time in this ball game. And that's the first out here in the top of the 6th. For Jake Stolley, his first strikeout of the day. And that'll bring to the plate the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock so far 2 for 2. Has singled in both at-bats, and both singles have been leadoff singles here in this ball game. 1 man out top of the 6th. As Grant Fink strikes out, Austin Wobrock will try to get on base for the 3rd time tonight here in this one. 1 man out top of the 6th. 3-3 the score. 3 runs on 8 hits for the Wild Things. 3 runs on 4 hits for the Thunderbolts. Here's the pitch, and Wobrock takes this one low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Another lefty for Jake Stolley to face. Came in and got Justin Garcia, the only lefty he's faced in this ball game, with 2 men out in the 5th. Here's the 1-0, and Wobrock fouls this one back to the screen. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Wobrock in his 2nd year with the team had 31 RBIs a year ago, which was good for 2nd behind Dave Popkins, who had 46. Stolle has his sign, the 1-1, and that one's low for a ball. Count now goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 here on Austin Wobrock. One man out, top of the 6th. Wobrock, the number 9 hitter, has been doing very well in that number 9 spot. Got that average up over 210 to 216 coming into play. The 2-1, and that one's a called strike at the knees. Count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 here, one man out, top of the 6th. Standard Bank Stadium here in Crestwood, Illinois. Stolle has his sign, the 2-2. And Wobrock fouling this one off back into the seats. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Jake Stolle standing in there at 6'5", 215 from Marion, Iowa. Last team played for was the Northwestern University, so a rookie here in the Frontier League. Stolle has his sign, the 2-2, and Wobrock takes this low and outside. Count goes full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. Stolle signed with the Thunderbolts on July 24th of 2016. In his 3 years at Northwestern University, he had a 3-6 record with a 3.86 ERA in 61 games for the team. Stolle has his sign, he's set, and the 3-2 pitch. And that one's low, ball 4. So Austin Wobrock reaches base for the 3rd time, this time via a walk. And there's a runner at first with one man out for the Wild Things. That brings to the plate the left fielder, Andrew Heck. Heck so far in this ball game, 1 for 3, struck out in the first, RBI double in the 3rd, and hit into a fielder's choice in inning number 4. One man out, top of the 6th, 3-3 score between your Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. A 1-out walk there by Jake Stolle. That'll prompt action in Windy City's bullpen, as now warming up out there is Austin Delmont. Here's the pitch from Stolle, and that one's in the dirt. Gets away from Corey Bass. That'll allow Wobrock to move up to second. Takes a wide turnaround second. Bass gets to the ball in time. So a wild pitch has a runner at second now with one man out for your Wild Things as Wobrock stands out there. And Corey Bass going to go out and talk to his lefty, Jake Stolle. Looked like a little bit of a cross up there between Bass and Stolle. Bass was set up on the outside part of the plate. That curveball breaking down and in, hit off the tip of the glove of Corey Bass and went back to the backstop, allowing Wobrock to move up. So Wobrock stands at second, one man out here in this top of the 6th inning. Andrew Heck had driven in 1 run already in this game, looking to drive in another here in the top of the 6th. Wobrock takes his lead from second. Jake Stolle has his sign, he's set. Checks second, and the 1-0 offering. And that one's in there for a strike on the outside corner. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 here on the Wild Things left fielder, Andrew Heck, the veteran on this team in his 4th year with the Washington Wild Things at $2.99 a year ago. Stolle has his sign, checks second, and the 1-1 offering. Heck takes this one low for a ball, and the count now goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count here on Andrew Heck. The left fielder for the Wild Things has taken over the starting role in left field for Washington. Had been splitting time with Grant Fink out there, but with some injuries, Fink has had to be moved to the infield, and Heck taking a hold of that left field spot. Stolle has his sign, checks second, and the 2-1. And this one grounded off the ankle of Andrew Heck, so the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Heck walking that one off, as those never feel good when you're at the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 man out, top of the 6th. 3-3 score. Austin Wobrock walked with 1 man out. He's at second base as he moved up on a wild pitch. Wobrock takes his lead from second. Jake Stolle looking in. Stolle has his sign. He's set. Checks over there. And the 2-2. And Heck ground ball at the middle. That's a base hit. Wobrock going to be waved around to score. Here comes the throw. And it is not in time. RBI double for Andrew Heck. And the Wild Things take the lead here in the top of the 6th. It's now 4-3. Andrew Heck's second RBI double of the game, his 12th RBI of the year, and the Wild Things now lead at 4-3. Wobrock comes in to score as your Wild Things take the first lead of this ball game off of Jake Stolle. That'll offer a visit from the pitching coach, Will Flint. So Austin Wobrock walking with 1 man out, moved up on the wild pitch, and then Andrew Heck brings him around with his second RBI double of the game. 4-3 Wild Things here in the top of the 6th, and Chris Grayson will be coming to the plate. Now remember, there is action out in the Windy City Thunderbolts bullpen. Austin Delmont is warming up out there just in case, as now the visit on the mound is over. Chris Grayson will be stepping in. Grayson so far on the day is 1 for 3, grounded out in the first, RBI single in the 3rd, and popped out in inning number 4. 1 man out, top of the 6th, 4-3 Wild Things lead over the Windy City Thunderbolts. Jake Stolle, the lefty, looking in. Lefty on lefty matchup. Stolle facing off against Chris Grayson. Stolly looks in, has his sign, he's set. Checks second. And the pitch. Grayson showing bunt, but will take this one for a strike on the outside corner. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things center fielder. Chris Grayson signed a week before the All-Star break from the Sioux Falls Canaries. Stolly has his sign, checks second, and the 0-1. And Grayson hits this one towards center field. Johnny Ironman a couple of steps back, now coming in, and he'll make the catch, and that's in time for out number 2. Second out of the inning for the Washington Wild Things, and that'll bring to the plate the third baseman, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez so far 1 for 3. Singled in the first, flew out in the third, and grounded out in inning number 5. 2 men out, runner at second for the Wild Things. That's Andrew Heck. Heck drove in the 4th run of the game for your Wild Things with his RBI double in the top of the 6th. And manager Ron Biga coming back out of the Windy City dugout. And we're going to have another pitching change. So we're going to take a break here on the MSA Sports Network. We'll be right back with more coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Currently in the top of the 6th. 1 run in already in the inning for your Wild Things on the RBI double by Andrew Heck. And a new pitcher on the mound for the Windy City Thunderbolts. It's Austin Delmont. Delmont on the year, a record of 1-0, a 4.65 ERA, appearing in his 13th game. Has thrown 9 2/3 innings of work, giving up 5 runs all earned on 11 hits, 11 strikeouts, and 8 walks on the year for Austin Delmont. Book not officially closed on the reliever Jake Stolly, but Stolly to this point has thrown an inning of work, giving up 1 run it was earned on 1 hit, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. Still responsible for Andrew Heck out there at second base. Heck driving in his 2nd run of the game. Drove in the 1st run of the game for your Wild Things with an RBI double back in, the top of the 3rd inning. And now another RBI double here in the top of the 6th has brought in the 4th run of the game for the Wild Things. Coming to the plate to lead things off here in the top of the, to face the first man here in the top of the 6th is the third baseman, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez so far 1 for 3, singled in the 1st, flew out in the 3rd, and grounded out in inning number 5. So the runner at second, Andrew Heck, 2 outs, 4-3 Wild Things lead over the Windy City Thunderbolts. Austin Delmont on the right-hander for Windy City. Delmont looking into his catcher, Corey Bass, as Rodriguez steps in. Rodriguez, 1 of 4 All-Stars for your Wild Things. Delmont has his sign, he's set, checks the runner at second, and the pitch on the way to Rodriguez. And this one taken low and inside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. Jake Stolly came in to relieve the starter, Kyle Von Ruden, in the top of the 5th with 2 men out. Von Ruden, his shortest outing of the year, 4 2/3, gave up 3 runs, 2 of those earned. Delmont has his sign, the 1-0, and Rodriguez following that one back to the screen and behind the stadium, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1, Wild Things a 1-run lead here in the top of the 6th. Would love to add on, as they were taught earlier in the year against Southern Illinois, no lead is safe no matter who you're playing. They'll try to pad their lead here in the top of the 6th. Delmont has his sign, checks Andrew Heck at second, and the 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. Rodriguez a swing and a miss there to pitch at the letters, and the count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rodriguez entered today with a .306 average. That was good for the team lead here on the Washington Wild Things. Dave Popkins leading in home runs and RBIs, but Rodriguez has that average category. Delmont looks into Corey Bass, and now he'll want to go through the signs once more as he steps off. Andrew Heck takes his lead at second. 2nd RBI double of the day for him. Delmont looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, 2 strike offering. And a swing and a miss there by Rodriguez. He strikes out, and the inning is over. So Austin Delmont comes on, does his job, gets that last out of the inning. And for the Wild Things in the inning, got 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 5.5, the score, Washington Wild Things 4 and the Windy City Thunderbolts 3. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 6th, and the score, the Washington Wild Things 4 and the Windy City Thunderbolts 3. Luke Wilkins back out there for his 6th inning of work, working with a lead for the first time in this ball game. Gave up 3 runs between the first 2 innings, but has since thrown up 3 straight zeros on the board. Last inning for the Windy City Thunderbolts, Coco Johnson flew out to start things, then Tim Zier would ground out, and Corey Bass flew out to end the inning. Due up here in the 6th, Charlie Thurber, Blair Beck, and Johnny Ironman, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters for Windy City, as Luke Wilkins finishes his warm-up tosses here in the inning, making his way to the plate to lead off this bottom of the 6th, Charlie Thurber. Thurber so far 1 for 2, drove in the first run of the game for the Windy City Thunderbolts with an RBI single back in the first, and grounded out in inning number 3. Wilkins so far in this ball game's gone 5 innings, giving up 3 runs, all those runs earned on 4 hits. He has struck out 5 in the ball game through 5 innings of work while walking only 1, and that's a welcome sight for Luke Wilkins. Has had problems with control all season long, but thankfully coming back and striking out a lot of guys here today and not walking many batters. The pitch, that one lined up the middle off the glove of Wilkins. Wobrock gloves, throw to first, and it's a high throw into the Wild Things dugout, so that'll give Charlie Thurber an extra base. So there's going to be a runner at second now with nobody out to start this bottom of the 6th inning. That ball lined back up the middle off the tip of the glove of Luke Wilkins on the mound. Austin Wobrock tried to gather that ball and make the throw to first to recover. However, the throw was wild, so it's a single for Charlie Thurber and a throwing error, moving him up to second base on Austin Wobrock. So single E6, and there's a runner at second with nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th, and that'll bring to the plate the third baseman, Blair Beck. Beck so far in the day 0 for 2. Flew out in the first and struck out in inning number 3. So bad situation for the Wild Things to start things. Here's Wilkins' pitch. Beck squaring and hits this one foul. No balls and a strike. Beck trying to get the sacrifice bunt there, but he hits it in foul territory. Wild Things defensively, Justin Garcia was charging in from first. They had the wheel play on. Grant Fink going over to cover second, and Ricky Rodriguez staying home at third base. No balls and a strike here on Blair Beck. Runner at second, nobody out for Windy City. Luke Wilkins looking into his catcher, Kyle Pollock. Wilkins going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. Checks the runner Thurber at second, and the 0-1 offering. And this ball popped foul by Blair Beck back into the stands on the right side. Count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. Action in the Wild Things bullpen. Devin Davis starts to throw out there, the lefty for the Wild Things. One of 2 lefties out there in the Wild Things bullpen. It's Davis and Brian O'Keefe that make up the left-handers for the Wild Things. Luke Wilkins looking in. Wilkins has his sign, he's set. Checks his runner at second, and the no-ball 2-strike pitch. And that one's a called strike 3 on the outside corner. Blair Beck strikes out, and that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 6th. The 6th strikeout of the day for Luke Wilkins. And on the season for him, that is a tie for a season high. Struck out 6 on July 1st and June 26th, facing off against the Florence Freedom and the Schaumburg Boomers. So it's tied a season high in strikeouts. His career high for strikeouts in the Frontier League is 9, set back on September 6th of 2015 against these Windy City Thunderbolts. The pitch, and that one's in there for a strike. No balls and a strike on Johnny Ironman. 0-1 the count, 1 man out, runner at second for Windy City. That's Charlie Thurber. He singled and then moved up to second on the throwing error by Austin Wobrock to start this inning. Wilkins has his sign, checks him out there, and the no-ball 1-strike pitch. This one is just off the plate and outside for a ball. Count goes even to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Johnny Ironman, the center fielder for the Windy City base once so far today. Ironman and John Williams split time in center field the last time the Wild Things saw the Thunderbolts back in early June at Consol Energy Park. Luke Wilkins has his sign, checks his runner at second, the 1-1. And a swing and a miss there by Ironman. Count now goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Luke Wilkins changing speeds on him, gets that breaking ball in after looking fastball on the 1-1 count. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 man out, 6 strikeouts on the day for Luke Wilkins, tying a season high. Wilkins looks into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. Checks the runner at second, and the 1 ball, 2 strike offering. And this one hit to the right side. Diving try by Garcia, he can't get it. They're going to hold the runner at third, so it'll be a 1-out single for Johnny Ironman. That puts runners at first and third for the Windy City Thunderbolts, and that'll bring to the plate the designated hitter, Cody Kiefer. Kiefer so far on the day, 1 for 2, hit that solo home run back in the second inning, and then grounded out in inning number 4. Johnny Ironman's first hit of the day. He's at first base, and that'll bring manager Greg Langman out of the Wild Things dugout. We're likely going to have a pitching change as Devin Davis is in the bullpen, and we will have a pitching change. So we're going to take a break here on the MSA Sports Network. We'll be right back with more coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. POGS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. POGS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to POGS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead, don't follow.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Currently in the bottom of the 6th, Windy City has runners at first and third, and a new pitcher on for the Wild Things as the reliever Devin Davis comes into the ballgame. Davis so far in the year, 1-1 with 4 saves, a 3.20 ERA, appearing in his 30th game of the year, stone 33 and 2/3 innings of work, giving up 12 runs, all earned on 32 hits. 10 walks and 38 strikeouts on the year for Devin Davis. Davis coming in to face the lefty Cody Kiefer. 1 man out in this bottom of the 6th inning as he relieves the starter Luke Wilkins. Wilkins ends his day. Book not officially closed on him, however. 5 1/3 so far. He's given up 3 runs, all earned, on 5 hits, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts, tying his season high. However, he is responsible for both Charlie Thurber on third and Johnny Ironman at first base. Devin Davis will look to clean things up for him as Cody Kiefer stepping to the plate. Kiefer so far 1 for 2. Solo home run in the second and grounded out in inning number 4. Devin Davis coming in. Davis very reliable out of the Wild Things bullpen. Had a little hiccup in the middle of the season where he gave him a run in 4 straight outings, but ever since then has been very consistent for the Wild Things. Davis looks into Kyle Pollock, has his sign, he's set. Checks the runner at first, and the pitch. Kiefer showing bunt, gets this one down. Pollock out from behind the plate, and he can't gather it. So the suicide squeeze works. Another run comes in for Windy City, and they now tie this game at 4. Suicide squeeze executed perfectly there by Kiefer. Runners took off on the pitch, got the ball down, and Kyle Pollock just not able to gather that one. And Cody Kiefer coming out of it with a base hit. So it's now 4-4. RBI single there by Cody Kiefer on the suicide squeeze. Johnny Ironman moves it to second. Back to square one here. That run charged to Luke Wilkins, his 4th earned run of the ball game. Now it's 4-4, and that brings to the plate the first baseman, Larry Balkwell. Here's the pitch, and Balkwell takes this one high for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Back to even here in the bottom of the 6th. The run comes in. 4-4 the score between your Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Devin Davis looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, no strike pitch. This ball popped up. Shallow center field. Chris Grayson coming in. Wobrock going out. Fink going out, and Wobrock drops it. It falls. They're going to tell him to slide at third. They're going to hold him there, and that ball falls in between 3 Wild Things defenders. The bases are now full of Windy City Thunderbolts here Just one man out. They're going to charge Austin Wobrock with an error on that one. E6, and the bases are now full. Windy City Thunderbolts here with one man out, and Devin Davis in a big spot coming out of the bullpen. That'll bring to the plate the shortstop, Taylor Smart. Smart so far in this one, 1 for 2. Singled in the second and struck out in inning number 4. Bases full of Thunderbolts here. 4-4 the score between your Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Devin Davis looks in. Davis has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Smart takes this one outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Taylor Smart moved to shortstop after Ransom Lalonde was scratched in this ball game. Davis looks in. Has his sign. He's set. And the 1 ball, no strike pitch. That one's outside for a ball as well. Count goes to 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. Smart batting from the right side against the lefty, Devin Davis. Davis trying to get out of this bases-loaded situation. Justin Garcia playing in on the grass at first. All the other defenders at their normal positions. The 2-0. Shallow left field. Chris Grayson coming in, calling everyone off, and he'll make the catch at the time for out number 2. Here's the throw to the plate. It's a strong one, and the tag's not in time. As they say, Johnny Ironman slid in just ahead of that tag. Windy City adds another run on, and it's now 5-4 Windy City here in the bottom of the 6th. A very strong throw there by Chris Grayson, as that's going to be a sac fly for Taylor Smart. Johnny Ironman apparently slid right under the tag of Kyle Pollock, and that gives Windy City the lead. It's now 5-4. That'll bring to the plate the left fielder, Coco Johnson. Johnson so far on the day is 1 for 2, doubled and scored a run in the first, hit a sac fly in the second, and flew out in inning number 5. Now Windy City leads 5-4, an inning after the Washington Wild Things took the lead over the Thunderbolts. That officially closes the book on Luke Wilkins. Goes 5 1/3, gives up 5 runs, all earned on 5 hits, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. The pitch for Windy City. A throwing error there on Ricky Rodriguez. E5. It's the 4th error of the game for your Washington Wild Things. And there are runners at first and second with 2 men out. Kyle Pollock going out to talk to Devin Davis. That run that scores will not be earned on Devin Davis, as 3 costly errors in this inning. 3 of the 4 errors for the Wild Things all coming in this inning. It started with the single by Charlie Thurber to lead things off. Austin Wobrock tried to recover the ball and ended up throwing it into the Wild Things dugout. The second error came on the Larry Balkwell pop-up that fell between 3 defenders. And the third error just now on that throw by Rodriguez to second base. There's runners at first and second, 2 men out. 6-4 Windy City leads, and Tim Zier to the plate. Zier so far 0 for 3, struck out in the first, grounded out in the second, and grounded out in inning number 5. Here's the pitch, and that one's low and inside for a ball. Pollock blocking that one, and the count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count, more action in the Washington Wild Things bullpen. Christian Powell warming up out there, the newest Washington Wild Thing on the team. Devin Davis looking into Kyle Pollock. Davis going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set, and the 1 ball no strike pitch. And this one's low for a ball. Count now goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Devin Davis has gotten 1 out in this outing so far, a third of an inning, and has given up a run, but it was not earned as it came in via an error. Devin Davis looking into Kyle Pollock. Davis has his sign, he's set, and the 2 ball no strike pitch. That one's inside for a ball as well, and the count now goes to 3 balls and no strikes. 3-0 here on Tim Zier, the second baseman for the Windy City Thunderbolts. 6-4, Windy City now leads over your Washington Wild Things. Devin Davis, a quick worker on the mound, looking into Kyle Pollock. Has his sign, he's set. And the 3 ball no strike work. 3 runs have come in for Windy City. They lead 6-4. Davis has his sign, here's the pitch. And that one's in there for a strike, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Bass, the 9th man to come to the plate here in this inning. Devin Davis looks in. Rough inning defensively for the Wild Things. Davis going through the signs. Has one he likes. He's set. And the no ball, 1 strike pitch. This one inside for a ball, and the count goes even at 1-1. Kyle Pollock able to get in the dirt and block that one as the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Pollock going out to talk to Devin Davis. Davis, a product of the Chicago White Sox organization, pitched in Double-A for the White Sox last season, but then was released and picked up by the Washington Wild Things for this season. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 men out. Bases are loaded with Windy City Thunderbolts. Is standing at third, Larry Balkwell. At second, Coco Johnson. And at first is Tim Zier. Devin Davis looking into Kyle Pollock going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. And the 1-1. Swing and a miss by Bass, and the count goes to 1-2 strikes. 1-2 here on the Windy City Thunderbolts catcher. 2 men out, bottom of the 6th. Davis trying to finally retire the side. Davis looking in. Has his sign, he's set. And the 1-2 strike offering. Inside ball 2 is Bass jumping out of the way of that one. Count even at 2 strikes. Devin Davis came out of the bullpen to relieve Luke Wilkins. Wilkins went 5 1/3 in this ball game, giving up 5 runs. Davis looks in. Has his sign, he's set. And the 2-2 strike pitch. This one ground to the left side. Austin Wobrock gloves. Throws to second, and that's in time for out number 3. Fielder's choice 6-4 ends the inning, but not before 3 runs come in the inning on a total of 3 hits, 3 errors in the inning, and 3 men left on base. After 6 innings of play, the score, the Windy City Thunderbolts 6 and your Washington Wild Things 4. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 7th, and the score, the Windy City Thunderbolts 6 and your Washington Wild Things 4. New pitcher on for Windy City, as it'll now be right-hander Zach Westcott. Westcott so far in the year, no record, a 1.39 ERA, appearing in his 15th game, has thrown 19 1/3 innings of work, giving up 4 runs, 3 earned on 10 hits, 3 walks, and 15 strikeouts for Westcott. The final line on Austin Delmont, the reliever. Delmont went 1/3 of an inning, did not give up a run, struck out the only man he faced in Ricky Rodriguez. Last inning for the Wild Things, they would add a run as they took the lead 4-3 in the top of the 6th. Grant Fink struck out, Austin Wobrock walked, and Andrew Heck drove him in with an RBI double. Chris Grayson flew out, and Ricky Rodriguez struck out to end the inning. This inning, Dave Popkins, Alvaro Gonzalez, and Kyle Pollock. However, Windy City scoring 3 more runs in the bottom of the 6th to take the lead here against Washington. It's now 6-4 Windy City over your Wild Things. So Zach Westcott, the new batter. Popkins at the plate. So far 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a flyout. Here's the pitch from Westcott. And that one's taken high for a ball by Popkins. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Dave Popkins trying to turn it around at the plate here tonight. Here's the 1-0. And Popkins pops this one up, foul back into the stands. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 here on the Wild Things right fielder. Still batting left-handed against the right-hander Zach Westcott. His first 3 at-bats came against the right-handed starter Kyle Von Ruden. Westcott's 1-1. And this ball hit towards center field. Going back a couple of steps, Johnny Ironman. He'll camp under it, and he'll make the catch. That's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Wild Things here in the top of the 7th, and that brings to the plate the designated hitter Alvaro Gonzalez. Gonzalez so far in the night, 1 for 2, struck out in the 2nd, walked in the 3rd, and singled in inning number 5. 1 man out, top of the 7th, 6-4 Windy City leads here over the Wild Things. Alvaro Gonzalez in his 3rd game with the Washington Wild Things. Gonzalez has a hit in each of his first 3 games as a Wild Thing. 2 doubles and a single. Here's the pitch, and that one's a called strike on the outside corner. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things designated hitter. Batting from the right side, Westcott's 0-1. And that one's high for a ball. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 here on Alvaro Gonzalez, signed out of the New Mexico Highlands University. Here's the 1-1, and that one swung on a miss, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 here on Alvaro Gonzalez. There is action in the Windy City Thunderbolts bullpen. Zach Westcott looking in, has his sign, the 1-2. And a swing and a miss there by Gonzalez. He strikes out, and that's out number 2. First strikeout of the day for Zach Westcott. And it's 2 up, 2 down from the Wild Things in the top of the 7th. That brings to the plate the catcher, Kyle Pollock. Pollock so far, 1 for 2, flew out in the 2nd, walked in the 3rd, and singled in inning number 5. 2 men out, top of the 7th. 6-4 Windy City leads over your Washington Wild Things. Windy City getting 3 runs in the bottom half of the 6th. Westcott has his sign. Here's the pitch, and Pollock takes that one at the knees for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Kyle Pollock, batting from the right-handed side against the righty Zach Westcott. Westcott has his sign. Here's the 0-1. And Pollock grounds this one foul off to the left. Count now goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 here on Kyle Pollock. Pollock, a product of the Kansas City Royals organization, played in single A for Kansas City before coming to the Wild Things here this season. Zach Westcott looking in. Westcott has his sign. He's set. And the 0-2 pitch. And that one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 1-2. Kyle Pollock wisely laying off of that one here in the top of the 7th with 2 men out, trying to avoid the 1-2-3 inning. Westcott has his sign, the 1-2, and Pollock grounds this one to second. Tim Zier handles it over there, throw on to first, and that's in time for out number 3. 1-2-3 go your Wild Things here in the 7th, and after 6.5, the score, Windy City 6, Washington 4. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball going to the bottom of the 7th, and the score, Windy City 6, and your Washington Wild Things 4. New pitcher on for the Washington Wild Things, making his Wild Things debut tonight, right-hander Christian Powell. Powell in his first game with the Wild Things pitched in rookie ball earlier this season for the Houston Astros organization, and in rookie ball pitched in 2 games, 1 start, 5.40 ERA in 1 2/3 innings of work. In 2015 in single A, had a record of 6-4, a 4.35 ERA through 70 1/3 innings of work, giving him 79 hits, 41 runs, 34 earned, while walking 17 and striking out 59 in 70 1/3 innings pitched. So Christian Powell on for his Wild Things debut. Does have experience in minor league baseball, pitched in the Astros organization since 2012. Christian Powell was drafted in the 8th round in 2012 by the Minnesota Twins. Due up to face him here in the bottom of the 7th. Is Charlie Thurber, Blair Beck, and Johnny Ironman. 4-5-6. Powell's first pitch, and that one's inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Charlie Thurber at the plate. Thurber so far 2 for 3, 2 singles and a ground out on the day. Powell has his sign. He's set in the 1 ball, no strike offering. And that one's low for a ball as well. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 here on Charlie Thurber. 6-4 Windy City leads here in the bottom of the 7th. Powell just trying to keep this game right where it is for the Wild Things. Powell has his sign. He's set in the 2-0. This one swung on and missed by Thurber, and the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Christian Powell, age 25, born on July 3rd, 1991, from Greenwood, South Carolina. Stands in at 225, 6'4", bats left, throws right. Powell has his sign, the 2-1, and that one's inside for a ball. 3 balls and 1 strike. So behind his first batter here, that he faces against the Windy City Thunderbolts, has had only 17 walks and 70 1/3 innings of work back in the 2015 season. This year, only played in 2 games, had 2 walks and an inning and 2/3. The pitch, and this one lined to the right field line, foul over into the stands here in Windy City, and the count goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. Blair Beck, the on-deck man for the Windy City Thunderbolts. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Christian Powell in, making his Washington Wild Things debut. Devin Davis's final line. Davis won 2/3 of an inning, giving up a run. It wasn't earned on 1 hit, no walks, and 1 strikeout. There is action in the Windy City Thunderbolts bullpen, as warming up down there is Cameron Giannini. Here's the 3-2, and this ball hit the right field. Dave Popkins coming in on this one, and he's going to make the catch, and that's good for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Windy City Thunderbolts here in the bottom of the 7th, and that brings to the plate the third baseman, Blair Beck. Beck so far 0 for 3, flew out in the first, struck out in the third, and struck out in inning number 6. 1 man out, bottom of the 7th, 6-4 Windy City leads. Christian Powell retires his first man he faces here in the Frontier League in his Washington Wild Things debut. Blair Beck stepping in, batting right-handed against Christian Powell. Powell looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And that one swung on a miss there by Blair Beck, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Powell firing a fastball in there by Beck. Powell looks into Pollock. Going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the no ball, 1 strike pitch. And that one's in there for a strike as well in the inside corner. Powell hitting 91 on that fastball in the inside part of the plate. So inside heat heater Blair Beck, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. Powell has his sign, he's set, and the 0-2 pitch. And this one swung on and missed, and Powell strikes out Blair Beck, his first Frontier League strikeout. And now there are 2 out off by Johnny Ironman, back into the seats, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Windy City Thunderbolts center fielder. 2 men out, bottom of the 7th, 6-4 Windy City leads. Christian Powell looking into Kyle Pollock. Powell has his sign, he's set, and the 0-1. And that's one's inside for a ball. Count goes even to 1 ball and 1 strike. Powell just missing on the inside corner there to Johnny Ironman. Powell, the right-hander, as we said, standing in at 6'4", and weighing in at 225. Powell's 1-1, and this ball hit the right field. Dave Popkins going back towards the track, and he'll make the catch, and that's good for out number 3. So a 1-2-3 inning for Christian Powell to start his Wild Things career, and after 7 innings of play, the score, Windy City Thunderbolts 6, and your Washington Wild Things 4. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. POGS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. POGS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to POGS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead, don't follow.
It's 13 walks and 24 strikeouts for Giannini on the season. Final line for reliever Zach Westcott. Westcott went an inning, did not give up a run, no hits, no walks, and struck out 1 on the night. So Cameron Giannini in this one. A 2-run lead for Windy City. So we'll see if he goes for the 2-out save. There are 3 pitchers with saves on the Windy City Thunderbolts roster. Cameron Giannini has 7, Chris Chigas has 1, and Brian Laconsol has 5. So we'll see if Giannini saves for the 2-out save, or if they'll bring in either Laconsol or Chigas. Stepping into the plate to lead things off here in the top of the 8th for your Wild Things, Justin Garcia. It'll be Garcia, Fink, and Austin Wobrock here in the top of inning number 8. 6-4, Windy City leads here in the top of inning number 8. Cameron Giannini looking in. Giannini has his sign, the pitch, and that one's low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Justin Garcia. Garcia 1 for 3 so far in the day, as he doubled in the second, popped out in the third, and flew out in inning number 5. Giannini looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1-0. And Garcia lines this off to the left and back into the seats, and the count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 here on Justin Garcia. Garcia, one of the newest Washington Wild Things, came to the Wild Things from the Houston Astros organization, played rookie ball with the Astros, hit 174, a home run, and 3 RBIs for the rookie ball earlier this year. Here's the 1-1, and Garcia takes this one high for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 here on the Wild Things first baseman. Garcia out there because Jimmy Yeso injured his ankle in Thursday night's game, rolled it trying to slide back into first base. He was doing some rehab earlier today, said it felt better, but still relying heavily on his healthy ankle. The 2-1, that one fouled back to the screen, and the count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count, nobody out. Cameron Giannini in for the Windy City Thunderbolts. Last time the Wild Things saw the Thunderbolts, Giannini was on the disabled list, so he did not pitch in that series. Cameron Giannini looking into Corey Bass. Justin Garcia at the plate. Giannini has his sign. He's set in the 2-2. And Garcia takes this one for a called strike 3. He strikes out, and that's out number 1 here in the top of the 8th. 1 up, 1 down for your Wild Things. That brings to the plate the second baseman, Grant Fink. Fink so far in the day, 0 for 3. Has struck out 3 times on the night. Twice to starter Kyle Von Ruden, and last time struck out while facing the reliever Jake Stawley. So Grant Fink in here with 1 man out in the top of the 8th, looking for redemption. The pitch from Giannini, and that one's inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things second baseman. Fink's been getting time out there. Jamadrick Magruder trying to heal up a hamstring issue. 1 ball, no strikes. Giannini looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1-0. And that one swung on a miss by Fink, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Jamadrick Magruder's been being eased back into that second base position. He's played a couple games here, a couple of games there, but Grant Fink getting the majority of the reps out there at second. Giannini has his sign. He's set, the 1-1. Fink takes this one low for a ball. Count now goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 here on Grant Fink, batting right-handed against the right-hander Cameron Giannini. 1 man out in the top of the 8th. 6-4 Windy City leads. Giannini looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 2-1. This one swung on a miss by Fink, and the count now goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 here on Grant Fink. 1 man out. Fink trying to put a ball in play here in this inning. Cameron Giannini looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 2 ball, 2 strike offering. Fink checks his swing, but it's outside for a ball. Count now goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2, Giannini in. Has that 5.40 ERA. Dealt with an injury earlier in the year. Spent some time on the DL for Windy City. Giannini has his sign, the 3-2. And that one's a called strike 3. Grant Fink strikes out for the 4th time today. Second strikeout of the inning for Cameron Giannini, and it's 2 up, 2 down for the Wild Things here in the 8th. That brings to the plate the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock so far 2 for 2. Singled and scored a run in the 3rd, singled in the 4th, and walked and scored a run in inning number 6. So he's reached base all 3 times today against these Windy City Thunderbolts. First 2 bat-bats coming against Von Ruden, and the last at-bat coming against Jake Stawley. Cameron Giannini got the first 2 outs here in this 8th inning. No action in the Windy City bullpen. Giannini looking into Corey Bass, going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the pitch on the way. Wobrock fouling this one off to the left and back into the seats. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 here on the Wild Things shortstop. Austin Wobrock's only missed 3 games all year due to days off. Has not been injured, been very steady, and has been consistent at the shortstop position. Cameron Giannini has his sign. He's set in the 0-1. Wobrock takes this one in the outside corner as well, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2, 2 men out. Cameron Giannini struck out the first 2 batters he's faced here in this inning, as Wobrock trying to get on base for the Wild Things. Giannini has his sign, the 0-2, and that one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 here on Austin Wobrock. No action in the Wild Things bullpen either, so Christian Powell more than likely going to go back out there for his second inning of work. Giannini has his sign, the 1-2 pitch, and that one's a called strike 3. Wobrock strikes out, and that will end the inning. Giannini strikes out the side as 1-2-3 go your Wild Things here in the 8th. After 7.5, the score, Windy City 6, your Washington Wild Things 4. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball going to the bottom of the 8th. And the score, Windy City Thunderbolts 6 and your Washington Wild Things 4. Christian Powell staying on for his second inning of work here in this ball game. Last inning retired the Thunderbolts 1-2-3 as Charlie Thurber flew out. Then Blair Beck struck out and Johnny Ironman flew out to end the inning. Due up here in the 8th, Cody Kiefer, Larry Balkwill, and Taylor Smart, 7, 8, and 9, facing off against Christian Powell. Powell here in his Wild Things debut. RBI single and scored a run in inning number 6. Kiefer stepping up to the plate here against Christian Powell. Powell looking into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And this ball lined foul off to the left, back into the seats. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 here on Cody Kiefer, the DH. After that first batter, Christian Powell pounding the strike zone, went 3-2 to Charlie Thurber to start the 7th inning, but has since pounded the strike zone with confidence here late in this ball game. Powell has his sign, the 0-1. That one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on Cody Kiefer, DH for the Windy City Thunderbolts. Saw some time in the outfield for the Thunderbolts last time they met the Washington Wild Things in Consol Energy Park. Powell has his sign, the 1-1. And a swing and a miss there by Kiefer. Wanted to hold up, but just couldn't. And the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2, nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th. 6-4 Windy City leads. Christian Powell looking for another perfect inning. Went 1-2-3 in the 7th against these Windy City Thunderbolts. Powell looks in, has his sign, he's set. And the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And a swing and a miss gets Cody Kiefer. And that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 8th. Powell's second strikeout here tonight. And there's 1 up, 1 down in this 8th inning. That'll bring to the plate the first baseman, Larry Balkwill. Balkwill so far 0 for 3, struck out in the 2nd, grounded out in the 4th, and reached on an error in inning number 6. 1 man out, bottom of the 8th. 6-4, Windy City leads over your Washington Wild Things. Nobody on. Christian Powell working from the stretch out of the bullpen. Has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. A swing and a miss there by Balkwill, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. That one in there at 90 miles an hour from Christian Powell, blowing that one by Larry Balkwill. Powell has his sign, he's set, and the 0-1. And that one's inside for a ball. Count goes even to 1 ball and 1 strike. Larry Balkwill, and this ball hit the left field. Andrew Heck and Austin giving chase to foul territory, and this one will go back into the seats. Count goes even to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count here on Larry Balkwill, batting from the right side against the righty Christian Powell. Doubleheader tomorrow afternoon starting at 4:05 first pitch for Game 1. Zach Groats making his Wild Things debut as a starter. He's been the closer all season, making his first start for Washington tomorrow. He'll be opposed by Brady Muller for the Windy City Thunderbolts. Here's the 2-2, and this ball popped up. Foul territory off to the right. Giving chase is Justin Garcia by the Wild Things dugout, and he lost it in the lights as it'll fall in foul territory, and the count remains 2-2. Garcia giving chase over there was just a little bit too far on it, and lost it in the lights here at Standard Bank Stadium, and it falls in between him and Kyle Pollock, landing in foul territory as the count's 2-2. So Larry Balkwill gets another chance here, against Christian Powell. Christian Powell, the right-hander, looking into his catcher, Kyle Pollock. Powell's debut for the Washington Wild Things has his sign, he's set, and the 2-2. And a swing and a miss there by Balkwill. He strikes out. Back-to-back strikeouts to start this inning for Christian Powell. His 3rd strikeout of the day, and that'll bring to the plate the shortstop, Taylor Smart. Smart so far, 1 for 2, singled and scored a run in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th, and a sacrifice fly in inning number 6. 2 up, 2 down for the Thunderbolts here in this bottom of the 8th. 6-4, Wild Things trailing the Windy City Thunderbolts. Christian Powell looks in. Powell has his sign. He's set. And the pitch. And Smart takes this one for a called strike on the outside corner. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. 92 on the radar gun from Christian Powell with that fastball on the outside corner. Powell has his sign. He's set. And the no ball, one strike pitch. And this ball popped up. Foul territory off to the left. Rodriguez giving it a look, but it'll go into the seats foul. And the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 men out. Powell trying to get his team back to the bat racks in the top of the ninth, down by 2. He's retired all 5 men he's faced here so far in his Wild Things debut. Powell looking into Kyle Pollock. Has his sign. He's set. And the no ball, 2 strike pitch. And that one's outside. Pollock getting in the dirt to block that one, and the count goes to 1-2. Powell tried to get Taylor Smart to chase that curveball there, but not doing as Smart wisely lays off. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 men out. 3 strikeouts for Christian Powell so far in the 2/3. Powell has his sign. He's set in the 1-2. And this ball grounded to short. Austin Wobrock will handle it. Throw on to first, and that's in time for out number 3. So another 1-2-3 inning for Christian Powell. 2 perfect innings here in his Wild Things debut. Going to the top of the ninth, and the score: the Windy City Thunderbolts 6, your Washington Wild Things 4. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, currently in the top of the ninth. And the score, the Windy City Thunderbolts 6 and your Washington Wild Things 4. New pitcher on for the Windy City Thunderbolts is taking over is Brian Lokensall. So far in the year, record of 1-2, 5 saves, a 4.10 ERA. Appearing in his 28th game, he's thrown 26 and a third innings of work, giving up 14 runs, 12 earned on 24 hits, 23 strikeouts, and 8 walks on the year for Lokensall. So Lokensall in for the reliever Cameron Giannini. Giannini went an inning, struck out the side, striking out all 3 men he faced in the inning. On to no balls and a strike. That fastball hitting in at 90 miles an hour for Loken. 1-2 the count on Andrew Heck. Nobody out in the top of the ninth. 6 runs, 6 hits, and an error for the Thunderbolts. 4 runs, 9 hits, 4 errors for your Wild Things. Lokensall has his sign. He's set in the 1-2. And that one's in the dirt. Heck wisely laying off, and the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. For Lokensall on the year, only has 8 walks in his 26 and a third innings of work. Has 23 strikeouts in those same amount of innings, so has been good with control this year and has struck out batters at a decent rate. Lokensall has his sign, the 2-2. And Heck, a ground ball to left, foul into the Thunderbolts dugout, and the count stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nice barehanded play made over there by Zach Westcott. Westcott earlier in this ball game came out of the bullpen, making the play on that ground ball. Brian Lokensall looking into Corey Bass. Lokensall has his sign. He's set, and the 2-ball, 2-strike pitch. Heck, a swing and a miss. He strikes out, and that's out number 1 here in the top of the ninth. 1 up, 1 down for the Wild Things. That brings to the plate the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson so far in the day, 1 for 4, grounded out in the first, RBI single in the third, popped out in the fourth, and flew out in inning number 6. 1 man out top of the ninth, 6-4 Windy City leads. Righty Brian Lokensall out of the bullpen for the Thunderbolts, facing off against these Washington Wild Things. Lokensaw looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch. And Grayson takes this one low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Chris Grayson, the number 2 hitter in the Wild Things lineup for Brian Lokensaw. Currently in his first season in the Frontier League. The 1-0, and that one's a called strike on the outside corner. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Pitching for the Windy City Thunderbolts. 1-2 in 27 games in his Frontier League debut. Last time out, went a perfect inning against Evansville. This one grounded to second. Zier singled in the first, flew out in the third, grounded out in the fifth, and struck out in inning number 6. Lokensaw looking into his catcher Bass. Has his sign, he's set. And the pitch on the way. And a swing and a foul ball there by Rodriguez. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things third baseman. Rodriguez hitting in that number 3 spot. He's been in that number 3 spot and Grayson in that number 2 spot for about a month now as they switch positions, and that's really helped this Wild Things team offensively. Lokensaw looking in, has his sign, he's set, checks Grayson at first, and the 0-1 offering. And Rodriguez takes this one low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Chris Grayson over at first base, 13 steals on the year. Currently leads the Wild Things in that category. Picked up his 13th steal earlier in this ball game. Lokensaw has his sign, he's set, and the 1-1. And Rodriguez takes this one. It's inside for a ball, and the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. Rodriguez being patient here. Lokensaw falling behind Rodriguez. Rodriguez represents the tying run. Go-ahead run on deck in the form of Dave Popkins. Lokensaw looks in, has his sign, checks Grayson at first, and the 2-1. Rodriguez takes, and this time a called strike on the inside corner. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 man out. Wild Things trying to get a 9th inning rally going here, down 6-4. Chris Grayson, the runner at first, he's singled with 1 man out. Lokensaw has his sign, he's set, and the 2-2. And Rodriguez lines this one towards left center field. That one's going to get down. Grayson around second, heading to third. Rodriguez trying for second. Here's the throw, and he's in there with a double. Chris Grayson in there with a 1-out double. Ricky Rodriguez gets to third, and the Wild Things are in business here in the top of the 9th. Rodriguez placing that perfectly between the center fielder and the left fielder. Allows Grayson to get to third. Rodriguez into second, and that brings the go-ahead run to the plate in the form of Dave Popkins. Popkins so far 0 for 4, has struck out twice. Lokensaw looks in, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set, and the 0-1 offering. Popkins takes this one outside this time for a ball. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Popkins represents the go-ahead run here in the top of the 9th. 6-4 Windy City leads. Chris Grayson the runner at third, and Ricky Rodriguez over at second. Lokensaw has his sign, the 1-1. And that one's outside as well. Count now goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 on Dave Popkins. Chris Grayson, RBI of the year, and now it's 6-5 Windy City. Grayson scores. Rodriguez moves up to third, so that tying run now at third with 2 men out, and that'll bring to the plate the DH Alvaro Gonzalez. Gonzalez so far 1 for 3, struck out in the second, walked in the third, singled in the fifth, and struck out in inning number 7. Gonzalez trying to tie this game, 2 men out, needs a single at least. Lokensaw looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. Gonzalez a ground ball to short. Handled over there by to first is in time, and that is going to end the game. Wild Things almost fought back in this one, but the final score, Windy City takes game 1 for your Washington Wild Things by a score of 6-5. The winning pitcher, was Kyle Von Ruden. Von Ruden improves to 2-3 on the year. The losing pitcher, Luke Wilkins. Wilkins falls to 2-6. Save goes to Brian Loncoso. Lokensaw, 6th save of the year. Keep it tuned to the MSA Sports Network. We'll be right back with the Washington Wild Things postgame show. Final score in this one, Windy City 6, your Wild Things 5.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Final score in this one, Windy City Thunderbolts take game one from your Washington Wild Things by a score of 6-5. Scoring recap here. Windy City back on the board in the bottom of the second as Cody Kiefer came through with a solo home run of the year. That gave Windy City a 2-0 lead. Next batter, Larry Balkwell, would strike out. Then Taylor Smart singled, stole second, and moved up to third on a wild pitch. So there'd be a runner at third with one out before Coco Johnson came through with a sacrifice fly. That brought home Taylor Smart and made the score 3-0 Windy City before Tim Zier grounded out to end the inning. Wild Things would get on the board in the top of the third. Austin Wobrock started things off, allowed Chris Grayson to come in to score. That tied the game at 3 before Justin Garcia popped out to end the inning. Wild Things would then take the lead in this game. In the top of the fourth, Austin Wobrock singled. In the top of the fifth, they take the lead in the ball game. It's top of the sixth, sorry. It was 3-3 to the top of the sixth before Grant Fink struck out. Austin Wobrock walked, and then Andrew Heck hit his second RBI double of the game. Wobrock scored, and the Wild Things took a 4-3 lead. It was Wobrock's 12th RBI of the year. Then Chris Grayson flew out, and Ricky Rodriguez struck out to end the inning. But then in the bottom of the sixth, Windy City got 3 runs off the Wild Things bullpen as Luke Wilkins started things in the inning. Charlie Thurber started things off with a single, and then a throwing error by Austin Wobrock moved up to second. So there's a runner at second with nobody out. Then Blair Beck struck out. Johnny Ironman singled to put runners at first and third, and that would be all for Luke Wilkins. Devin Davis came in the ball game, and the first man he faced, Cody Kiefer, hit an RBI single the inning. So it was 6-4, and then Christian Powell came in the bottom of the seventh, making his Wild Things debut, and Powell was fabulous on the night. 2 innings, did not give up a hit, struck out 3 men in the ball game. Nice Wild Things debut for him. Final line for the starter, Wilkins. Wilkins went 5 1/3, gave up 5 hits, 5 runs, all earned, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. Devin Davis, 2/3 innings out of the bullpen, gave up a run, it wasn't earned, on 1 hit, no walks, and 1 strikeout. Wild Things tried to fight back in the top of the ninth as Andrew Heck struck out to start things, and Chris Grayson would single, and Ricky Rodriguez would